Yo, what's good? What's good? If there's anybody out there, welcome to another episode of Raiders Unleashed. Let's see. My man Killer says, yo, about to go to sleep. Can't make it, but looking forward to the draft, yo. Oh, shouldn't have that on. Appreciate you popping in. So, yeah. We are all looking forward to the draft. We are going to break down a crazy mock draft from CBS with a couple of trades. Also, what's good, Arnie Garza. Also, Jackson Dart. There's a lot of talk about Jackson Dart in Las Vegas. Also, to the Saints. Also, to the Giants trading up. We will break that all down. But could he possibly, just possibly, be the replacement to Shador Sanders? I mean, to Geno Smith. Boy, I fucked that.
And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
You know what I like to do? Just follow me on this one.
What is going on?
Hey, that fire still burns bright here in Las Vegas.
And one future.
Boys.
Talk about commitment to excellence. Just win, baby.
Yo, if that looked as bad for y'all as it does on my phone, I completely apologize. I don't know if that's my internet. But if it was lagging for y'all like it lagged for me, that was embarrassing. So, damn. Well. Membu or Campbell, 6th overall pick. If I have to choose, I mean, is it life or death? Is that my solution? Or I have to go Campbell. I mean, his combine stats were off the charts, in my opinion. There's videos of the man squatting 600 pounds, short arms or not. Do I draft a guy that has to possibly, there's a small chance, has to be moved to the guard position at 6? No. But there's just as big of chance that Membu could possibly have to be moved inside also. I mean, his arms aren't much bigger. So, I talked about it last night. I think Membu needs work on his pass rush. And if you don't believe me, there's guys in the NFL like Landon Jackson from the Arkansas Razorbacks are way better. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Way better. Jackson gave him fits. If you haven't watched, I've told y'all, do your homework. Go watch the Razorbacks versus Missouri. It's the final game. It's a rivalry. Landon Jackson, that game probably is the game that got him up the draft boards way before the combine. So, I mean, I don't know. Go watch it. Go check it out. I'm not drafting that dude at 6. I'm not drafting him. And I'm not drafting Will Campbell at 6. There's just too many prospects that can fill holes. And yes, if the Colt Miller thing doesn't work out, if DJ Glaze doesn't work out, then you have, holes to fill on the offensive line. However, we have linebacker holes. We have corner holes. We have a huge hole at running back still. Even with free agency and Mostert, in my opinion, we don't know what any of these guys in this room are going to bring. We talked about the 6 running backs we have yesterday. So, I don't know. We need offensive linemen. But there's offensive linemen we can get in this draft that could help this team that have just as much chance of succeeding and becoming, a 10-year offensive lineman than both of those guys. Hold up before I say his name wrong. Let me pull this up. Ariante Ezeri. What is it, Minnesota? This dude is absolute freak also. Ran in the low fives, 4.9s, 330 pounds, 6'6". He's very quick in all the drills. Killed it. So, second round, I don't see him going farther than that, in my opinion. He's one of the best guys on here, best tackles on here. And we heard Spytek say how he loves to draft those huge tackles from smaller schools and turn them into guards for a little while, right? Move them in guard, let them get acclimated to the NFL. That's my route. There's too many prospects. There's too many prospects out there right now. I know you could say, and we've argued till the death, Jahdae Barron is not worth a 6th round pick. I disagree. Would I rather trade back, somewhere in the teens and get him? Absolutely. But if there's no trade back, I would take it, man. I would risk it. We've risked on corners that weren't even close coming out of college, prospect wise, in my opinion, in the past. It's a hole that needs to be filled. Linebacker, Jahad Campbell. Some people say he's an edge. Some people, outside. Wherever you want to put him. I believe you can play him anywhere on the field. Like, you can put the guy probably at nose. I mean, so that's my favorite linebacker in the draft. Jalen Walker also. There's a lot of teams that are going to probably snag him up early. If it's not in the top 10, it's in the, 10 through 15 range, in my opinion. Pete Carroll loves big name prospects, especially on defense, especially big guys like a Nick Emanwari. If they trade back, that's a huge possibility. I've talked about that since he's been hired. So I just don't see taking an offensive lineman at 1. At 2, yes. Here's why. If we do have a trade partner, and I don't see any scenario why we wouldn't, there's a lot of teams I feel that want to get up to the 6th spot. If somebody wants Shador, they're going to come up. If somebody wants Ashton Genty, they're going to come up. If somebody thinks, if Mason Graham's on the board, somebody might come up. If Will Johnson's still on the board, there might be a team like the Bills are, one of these teams that need a shutdown corner that feel that that's their guy and they need to go get him. Maybe they feel Jahdae Barron is their guy. There's going to be teams that want to move to that 6th spot. Like I said, there's only a couple guys that I would take at the 6th spot just for the Raiders' needs. But for other teams' needs, there's a lot of people you could come up and get at the 6th spot if you feel they're not going to be there. Or you feel somebody's going to jump in front of you where you're at if they do fall to you. So I've talked about it. We hear all the talk, right? There's not going to be a lot of trades. Schefter, all the reporters saying it's probably not going to be a big trade draft. I say at least 3 or 4, probably in the 1st round. That's just what I'm feeling. So it could go a lot of ways, man. There's just so many good-looking guys. Not good-looking guys, positive necessary. You know what I mean. Good-looking prospects at position of need. Trying to make sure I get my words out right. And again, there's a lot of guys. We talked about my top 5 corners the other day. I think I kind of changed that list a little bit. Just a little bit. Y'all gonna be a little shocked. Shit, did I save that? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Damn it. Yeah, y'all gonna be a little surprised, but I'm just gonna tell y'all because I don't think I just saved it. So, Of course, you know my favorite corner in this draft is by far Jahdae Barron. It's close. It's close with a couple guys. But my second guy is Siobhan Reveal Jr. Siobhan Reveal, bro. Like, the kid was hurt. He still, still put up crazy numbers. I believe somebody's going to take a chance. I think this kid's going to go early second. If somebody doesn't try to sneak up and get him, late in the first or maybe mid first, depending. I'm going to give you my top 5, and I think those guys could possibly all go in the first round. So, Jahdae, it's very, very close between Reveal Jr. and Trey Amos. Very, very close, but I got Trey Amos third. And yes, I have Travis Hunter fourth. And I know people are going to call me crazy. But the more tape I've watched on him, because there is a possibility that he falls to us at 6. And we've done mock drafts, and people, he's been there, and people are like, take Travis Hunter. You're dumb if you don't take Travis Hunter, right? That's the number 1 generational talent in this draft. I'm not denying that if he can play both sides of the ball, that's a possibility. But the film I watched against teams, what the hell? Sign into YouTube. Sorry. Against teams that had corners that, they're not ranked too high in this draft. There's a couple that were, and they gave him fits. So I don't remember him playing. Shit, hold on. Damn it. What's going on here? Fuck. Man, shit. What the fuck did I do with it? Alright, well. Anyways, when he played against tough corners, and I think it was Alec A.O. Manor, didn't look very good. Didn't look great, right? Now, of course, if the dude could play just offense all year with his, stamina, his conditioning, his athletic ability, which is absolute crazy. If you've seen the dude play basketball, he could have been in the NBA. I mean, the kid is very, very talented. But playing both sports in the NFL is gonna be hard for anybody, even that athletic. Like, these guys are faster, they're harder, stronger, they're gonna hit harder. To me, I think that's gonna be a big eye opening. Like, you don't understand, it's the best of the best, and he didn't go against the best of the best in college, so I have a problem with that. I didn't see him go against did they play no. Hold on, let me get into the chat before I get too far, because I got carried away yesterday. Rebel, looking at our depth chart, which prospect starter needs to be replaced in the draft? Oh, which projected starter? My bad. That's hard to say, Arnie, because we don't know who they're even projecting to be the starter. We have assumptions, right? But we don't know. Who's taking Jack Jones' spot? Is it going to be Eric Stokes? Is it going to be somebody they get in the draft? Is it going to be D-Cam? We don't know. Is Tommy Eichenberg possibly gonna take a bigger leap and take more of a role and get more burn? We don't know. So that's hard to say. That's very hard to say. But I would love, I mean, I guess I could kind of answer it. I know what I would like to see. I would like to see a better cover corner. I would like to see a linebacker that can rush the passer, that can stop the run, and that can cover, which I know that's asking a lot. There's not many out there. That's why I say, if you have that 6th overall pick and your guy's not there, Genty's not there, you have no trade backs, it's worth a shot to me. We don't know what DJ Glaze is going to do. He played well as a rookie, thrown into a fire, had to adjust really, really quick, right? Most 3rd round picks, they don't play that well and they don't play that long. Having to come in the situation he did, they usually come in, they get their ass whooped, and they get sat down real quick. They might get another chance in a couple weeks later, but most of them don't do as well as DJ Glaze. Again, I talked about the talent that he went up against, just dominating defensive ends, and it seemed like week after week after week, and he held his own. With a full offseason, with better coaching, better training, all these guys in the building, Max, everybody pushing everybody. He's good friends with JPJ. JPJ's been in the building every morning. We haven't heard about DJ Glaze. Is he there? Is he there every morning? We don't know. But he has a lot of potential, right? He has the potential to be that guy. He was that guy last year. He didn't lose the job. Munford wasn't hurt. He came back. He was healthy towards the end of the year. He didn't take the job back. So that shows, to me, development in DJ Glaze. I think he got better as the year went on. But I think he kind of hit that rookie wall, somewhere around December. Definitely not used to playing 17 games, right? I don't think his team, Maryland or wherever the hell he was drafted from, I don't believe they played, a lot of playoff games. I don't think they made it to the playoffs. This was the first year of the playoffs. So, bowl games, what do they play? 12, 13 games? That's a big difference between 17. Flying all over the country, crazier schedules. You got Thursday night games. You got Monday night games. So, for a rookie, that's a lot. That's a lot. He's definitely, I believe, going to be in better shape, going to come in ready. He knows what he's got to do, right? Last year, he had no idea what he was coming into. He just, what you see on film, what you hear, and, what you kind of think it's going to be like. But I'm sure he didn't have any idea what he was getting into. When you're thrown into on the field, shit, that early in the season, like, he didn't even know the offensive line or the coaches or probably much of the offensive line scheme at all. So, and it showed. So that's another big question. I think safety's good. Running back, right? I guess Mostert is the projected starter. If that's the case, then running back. So we know the positions, right? We know the positions. Our biggest need is running back. It's definitely linebacker. Corner, has to be one. It has to be up in there at 3rd, in my opinion. And then it would be receiver. And then you could say O-line or D-line. I don't believe we need, D-line. You can get some UDFAs. We have 3 6th-round picks, like I've talked about. I don't think we have to go D-line early. So that's a lot of prospects that could replace a lot of people that are projected to start just right there. There's usually always one guy from that UDFA squad, right? That shines. We have a bunch on our team. Damn it. I forgot to do that yesterday. So yesterday when we were breaking down the roster, I was going to show how many drafted players and how many UDFAs we had on our roster. It's absolutely ridiculous how many guys we had on our roster that were not drafted. Rebel, if we trade to the 9th pick, I'd have to choose. If you had to choose Sanders or Johnson, Barron was picked already. Will Johnson or my Johnson? Those are rough. If those you can't put me in that scenario, man. There's too many players that would be on the board, and neither one of those would be on my list. Not at 6. I mean, I guess, damn, one of them would have to kind of be, right? No. I would take Dart. I would take Dart over Sanders at 6 if that was a scenario and I had to. I would risk it. I would risk it. Just for the fact that we'll get into that. That's the title. That's the title. We'll get into the Dart thing. I guess it would have to be Johnson, which is scary at 6. Makes no sense to me. Sanders doesn't make sense to me either. And, I mean, shit, let's not make the people wait, right? Let's talk about Jackson Dart. Taking a quarterback, period, at 6 is wild. But if you are going to do it, and you feel at 9, there's a possibility that the Saints could take Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders. And if you don't believe me, just get on the internet. There's a whole lot of talk about Jackson Dart being liked a lot by the Saints. Also by the Giants. Also by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They also like Sanders. So, if there's that many people liking Jackson Dart in the first round, and I've also heard the Raiders like him a lot. There was a lot of people in the building that were very, very intrigued by Jackson Dart's personality, by his mobility, obviously not his quickness, but just his craftiness, right? And we talked about this before, and it's no comparison. It's not a comp. Don't get your panties in a bunch. But we talked about it. Who makes the most, craziest, wildest plays? That's not the fastest, most athletic guy in the NFL. Right? It's Patty Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is one of the craftiest, if not the craftiest, quarterback in the NFL. But he has the slowest 40 time. But he knows when to run. He knows how to run. He knows how to get away from guys. He has that wiggle. You don't have to be fast, to have wiggle. So Jackson Dart has that. It's on film. It's on tape. On every game he's ever played. There's not one game where he wasn't running, juking somebody, running past somebody, outrunning people to the end zone. The kid has it. Shedeur, if their athleticism was there, there would be more people talking about it. Nobody talks about his athleticism. I'm not saying he isn't athletic, but when you got a guy in your division Patrick Mahomes, a pretty mobile Bo Nix. Like, he's not the fastest guy either, but he's crafty. Go look at his running yards last year for a rookie. The kid ran the ball. He took off and run. He wasn't scared to run. So he'll run the ball. Also, look at guys like Josh Allen. They came out. They said they didn't have, the strongest arm. They didn't have the accuracy. It was a crazy pick at 7. The Bills didn't think so. He is one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Just signed a huge contract. So obviously, guys like that can work. And when you're in a division in the AFC West and you have all those quarterbacks I just named, Herbert, who had a pretty damn good year, right? 5 interceptions, over 20 touchdowns, made it to the playoffs, took his team to the playoffs. Bo Nix as a rookie. Geno's contract is structured to get out of it in 2 years. If you're going to get out of his contract in 2 years and you're thinking about taking a quarterback to replace him, why not Jackson Dart? There are more than one. There are plenty of people now that have changed their mind and jumped on the Raider Rebel train saying Jackson Dart is the second best quarterback in this draft. I've been saying it for months. He's the second best quarterback in this draft, and it's not even close. And any other time, in any other draft, in any other year, in any other situation, whether you had a quarterback or not, if you had that pick to get the second best quarterback in the draft and you still needed a franchise guy for the future, teams would take it. And there are teams that are willing to take that chance. Jackson Dart, under pressure, the highest rated quarterback in college football last year. His numbers are comparable to Cam Ward, to Shedeur Sanders. Some could say even better. To me, I see Cam Ward throw the ball sideways a lot. There's a lot of sidearm. That's not going to work in the NFL. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks throw the ball, with not over the shoulder with correct form. It doesn't work very often, if ever. So that's my take on Jackson Dart. If the Raiders are going to take a quarterback of the future, maybe a team wants to move up and take Ashton Genty, or maybe they have somebody else in mind. Maybe there's a team that needs one of these edge rushers and thinks, that's the best talent in the draft, and they don't want to miss out on them. It's happened millions of times. Like, there's always teams trading up for guys. It doesn't work out, right? The 49ers traded 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to move up and get a quarterback. Where's he at? Where is he at now? So, definitely don't want to be that team. Pappy was good. The GOAT was good. Appreciate y'all. Hawaiian Candy. Sorry I'm rambling. Rosetown, appreciate you pulling up. Thank y'all for popping up in the building. So yeah, that's just my case. That's my case. When you have a division like we have, Jackson Dart's game. What are you doing back there? Jesus, do you have to be doing that now? If you pay attention to Jackson Dart's game, it is the funnest to watch in all of college football. Every time he's behind center, you don't know what's going to happen. But it's always exciting. I've watched a lot of Ole Miss games. I watched a lot of film. I had to watch one where he just, beat the shit out of my Arkansas Razorbacks. I have to talk about it all the time and throw up in my mouth a little bit as I do. But the kid is dynamic, bro. He's not elite in anything. I'm not going to say that. But he's very, very highly talented in a lot of those trades. He could throw the ball deep. He could throw the ball short. He has touch. He can lead guys open, which there's a couple quarterbacks in this draft that I don't see doing very often. They wait. until the receiver gets open. And sometimes it costs them a whole lot of sacks. I'm not going to say how many sacks because that would give it away. And it's not Shador. But there are a lot of quarterbacks in this draft. That's why one of the main reasons why they are not first round quarterbacks, it's not because of their size, their strength, their talent, how they process. A lot of it is they wait for guys to get open to make big plays. Not every quarterback you can't win a team sport being the guy to always want to make the big play. Sometimes you got to take the check down. Sometimes you got to take the check down. Let me repeat. What does John Gruden say? No, I'm not going to do no John Gruden voice. LV Raider 10 in the building. He might be the biggest Jackson Dart fan out there. I mean, that would be cool. I have been talking about him for a long time. But I'm saying, there's mock drafts. We'll get into that. There's been a couple mock drafts of Jackson Dart going at 9. There's been mock drafts for him going at 21. There's been mock drafts of teams trading up to take him. And there's been lots of talk that the Raiders are very, very high on Jackson Dart. Now, when you have a offensive coordinator like Chip Kelly that can design so many different things for a guy that can run the football, right? That holds on to the football, that doesn't make bad decisions, take away the Florida game. I know. Other than that, though, the kid has been impressive. Not just 1 year, not just 2 years. 3 years in the same system. That's a long time. Most of these guys transfer out. And yes, he transferred from USC. What are you guys doing back there? Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm just saying, there's a very big possibility that not take him at 6, not trade out and get him. But if they believe they need a quarterback for the future, why not trade back into the first round? We have a 4th round, 2 4th rounds, and a 5th, I do believe, or a 4th, 5th, and a 6th, however it works out, coming next year that we already know we are getting pretty much. I mean, unless something drastically crazy happens. But we lost high caliber players, right? So we have that. We could trade next year in a package. There's also talks of Aiden O'Connell being traded. Why are you going to trade a quarterback in Aiden O'Connell, who has 11 interceptions to 20 touchdowns in his 17 starts, sacked, the 13th least in the NFL last year, but not mobile, right? Also, mobile-wise, according to PFF, his mobility grade was higher than Geno's. And yes, they account the 50 sacks into that. I get it. But it's just funny to see a stat when you're looking at stats with Aiden O'Connell and Geno, to see that Aiden O'Connell actually has a higher rushing stat. I thought it was funny. Anyways, back to the subject at hand. Why would you be talking about trading Aiden O'Connell if you're not looking to get a quarterback? And I know everybody is pointing to Shador, but just because Tom Brady worked out with a guy, trained him for a little bit, talked to him on the phone, does not mean if he sees a chance to get a guy that maybe he feels better, is better, or has a chance to be better, or has a higher ceiling if he sits for a year. Or maybe he sees a quarterback that is neck and neck with Shador. And if you're going to have a guy sit for a year, maybe one guy's character is better than the other guy's character to sit. And again, maybe that upside is better. So sitting a year would not be a problem. It wouldn't be a distraction. It wouldn't be a pressure on the quarterback you have. To me, nobody's going to be screaming for Jackson Dart, because as you can see, there's people in here saying, oh, you must be the biggest Jackson Dart fan on the planet because you're talking about this. Nobody in Raider Nation, except for me and maybe a couple other guys, are going to be screaming, why isn't Jackson Dart in the game if Geno makes a mistake? If we draft Shador, all of Raider Nation who still think there's a chance that we get Shador or take a quarterback, not at 6. I believe if we do, it's the 2nd round, 3rd round, or if there's a guy that they feel they can't get, they move back up. We have enough draft picks. We have enough next year. But if you're willing to do that, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying there's a chance it's going to happen, or there's not a chance it's going to happen. But it's been talked about Jackson Dart not only being the 3rd quarterback in the 1st round, but there's people saying there could be 4. I don't see it. You know, I said earlier there might be 4. There could be 5. There's needy teams. You don't know. There might be a run all of a sudden be like, damn, we got to take this guy. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have been on John Gruden's show that are gaining popularity just for that show, showing their knowledge to, you know, to process information. Maybe when they're interviewed, they didn't put them through the ringer like John Gruden did, trying to give them 4 different plays with 5 different play call changes at a time. Like, that shows a lot to me. That shows a lot. So that could be moving guys up also. Let's get into this shit. Who in the building? Who sent you over? I heard you picked that one girl, Candy. That might have happened. It might be on film somewhere. The Mule freaking Eichenberg and Amari Gaynor. Yeah, shout out to them. Rebel, who are your top 5 running backs in this draft class? To me, if you're looking for all around, and I'm not saying that any of the other guys are not as good, or one guy is not as good at catching than the other, but damn it, all around, that can block, that protects the football, that can gain you explosive plays, that's not going to be caught from behind. I mean, unless you got a 4-1 guy back there. If you got a needed guy that can still get yards after contact, that can catch the ball and make plays after the catch, that can make plays getting hit in the backfield, and pretty much every time the ball touches his hand has a chance to take it to the house or have some crazy explosive play, it's Trayvon Henderson, Ohio State. That I know. I've been on the Ashton Genty train. If there's anybody that has shit, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not bueno. What's good, my guy? Trayvon Henderson, bro. I started out with him as my 3rd best. He was the 3rd. Junkins was 4th. And then it was a toss-up. You know, was it Caleb Johnson 5? There's a couple guys I like, but probably not at 5. I don't know. There was 5 and 6 kind of was a toss-up. But those were my top, right? Those were my top. But the more I see Trayvon Henderson, full games, not just what's on tape, you know, the all 22 shit, where you're watching just play after play after play after play. He don't get beat a lot when he's blocking. He doesn't turn the ball over. That kid is just crazy special to me, and If he doesn't go in the first round, bro, I'm absolutely shocked. Absolutely shocked. Now, I know everybody on the planet has Ashton Genty tier 1. He is generational. There is nobody like him at all. And he's definitely number 1. But it's a very, very, very close. Very close. With Trayvon number 2. I got Trayvon number 2. I don't know. People have him Marion Hampton. I think it's Judkins. Both of those guys, Trayvon Henderson and Judkins, had 1,000 yards rushing, sharing the rock all year long, right? Not to mention the yards receiving. Both of those kids are very, very special. And I'm not saying Marion Hampton's not special, or Caleb Johnson, or hold up, where's my damn list at? It kind of helps when I can remember everybody on the damn running back room. Fucking allergies, bro. I'm gonna die here. I swear. Alright, running backs. Rebels big board. That's who. You got guys like Dylan Sampson, who I think, 5'11", 4.42 speed, is another guy that's gonna give you, could be easily that third down, all 3 down back. You don't have to take him out. This day and age, guys get breaks. But if you need that workhorse, that running back, that can catch out of the backfield, that can make plays, even if you don't have the greatest offensive line, Dylan Sampson is right up there. People have Scatterbo up there on the list. I have him ranked just a little bit lower in my opinion. Jordan James. I like Jordan James a lot out of Oregon. That kid, he runs hard. He's the same, yards after contact. He can catch. He can block. Probably work on that a little bit more. But for his size, not too many big running backs anymore coming out of college. Like, all these guys people say Ashton Genty is too small at 5'8". Everybody in the NFL right now is 5'8", 5'9", 6 foot. Like, we're talking inches, bro. Like, I don't know. We're talking inches. So, yeah, that's my top 5. I still got Genty, but it's a very, very close to Trayvon Henderson. I got Junkins 3rd. I got Caleb Johnson 4th. Dylan Sampson 5th. And then, I don't know. Like I said before, there's 1, tier 2, and then there's a whole line of people on tier 3. Like, it's the whole damn college football class, pretty much. Now, it varies, of course, tapers, but that's mine. That's it. Tommy freaking Eckenberg. Whoa. I didn't do no such thing. I don't know what we're talking about. How did we get to this? Wait. Back to football. If the Rams get dark, I might crash out. And no, I will crash out. If the Rams get dark, they got a quarterback of the future, right? You could sit there and groom him, for a year. Behind some people are, can argue, but a Hall of Fame quarterback, the numbers he put up with the Lions, a shit team that, sorry, not a shit team, but a team that was in the depths struggling for many, many, many moons. If you can learn behind that, guy that's been to a Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl, been to the playoffs countless amount of times since he's been a Ram. It's a damn good spot for him, right? And if you have teams like that, I just don't see how you could pass on a guy like Jackson Dart. Geno is obviously not the future. If it is, it's not going to be long. If we don't even know what Geno, what kind of year he's going to have. If he has the same kind of year, 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 6 fumbles, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to win us a lot of games. That's going to win us, maybe 2 or 3. The defense going to win us 5 or 6. We're looking at maybe 8. If you draft Shador, everybody on the planet is going to be calling for that dude to take over. If you draft Dart, it's going to be like Aiden O'Connell. Everybody's going to hate him. They're going to be like, oh my God, they drafted another white quarterback that can't play football. And nobody's going to want him in the game. So he can sit for a year. Nobody's going to complain. No pressure. Geno can do his thing. He can sit, 2 years, if that's the case. Or he could come in right away and they'd be like, holy shit, we have another Russell Wilson type takeover in a Pete Carroll organization. Right? Could happen. Anything could happen. It's the NFL. I'm just here to make content and get people to watch. Hit those like buttons, y'all. Yeah, appreciate it. Arnie LV-RaidersRebel, who was your dark horse prospect in late rounds we need to know about? Make me go deep into a list here. I don't know. It depends on how deep you're talking. Like 6th round, 7th round. I mean, that late? 5th round? I don't know what you mean by late. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. It's over there, but. Well, there's a lot of prospects. I believe there's still receivers we could get in the 4th round that will definitely compete, for that 2nd and 3rd spot. I know there's guys we could get in the 2nd that'll definitely compete for that 1st spot. There's linebackers that, there's a couple corners that you can bring in camp that are definitely going to compete for a job. But again, we're drafting corners in the 4th or 5th round. Like, we seem to do that every year. So if we want to change, the holes we have at a corner position, you have to take one in the 1st or 2nd. If you want to change the holes we have at the linebacker position, you have to take one 1st or 2nd. If you want to change the holes we have at the running back position, to me, it's got to be 1st or 2nd. Like I said, wide receiver, 3rd or 4th. I believe somehow, some crazy world, guys overlook a guy like Jalen Noel. If that happens, that's a 3rd round pick all day. I'm taking, I'm running to the podium. Shit, I'm gonna build a paper airplane and throw that shit up there so I, get there faster than I can. Then you got guys like, the hell's his name? Eliki Manwar, or however you say that dude. A.O. Manor. Alec A.O. Manor. There's a lot of teams that have him projected to fall to the 3rd round. That's, to me, one of the only maybe 4 or 5 X receivers in this draft that have a 3rd round, a 3rd round grade. There's guys like What's it, Ty Felton? You know, there's a bunch of guys like Cam, Chime Dyke, some of those guys that ran those 4.340s that showed they could catch and catch running full speed in the straight line drill. Some of those guys impressed the shit out of me. So a lot of those guys have later round grades that could easily take a chance on in the fourth. I believe some of those guys. Keandre Lambert Smith. I've talked about Keandre before. If you haven't watched the tape on Keandre Lambert Smith, tape that shit in your phone or your laptop or whatever you're on. Go watch film on a dude. It's impressive. To me it is, right? He ran a 4.3740. The cone drills, all that shit in the combine looked good to me. So I see receivers that, like I said, third, fourth round we can get. There's also guys, if you go late round, maybe Isaac Tesla falls. He doesn't have great separation, doesn't have a great first step, doesn't create separation off the line. Maybe he falls. But 6'3", 4.44 speed. I've seen him play live, and the dude has amazing hands. He has a great catch radius. He comes down with pretty much anything that's thrown his way. He just didn't have too many receptions thrown his way last year, or not enough. A guy like Andrew Armstrong from Arkansas, also another big guy, 6'5", 6'6", whatever he is, needs to pack on some pounds, but damn good route runner. Comes down, they're not 50-50 balls with him. They're pretty much 70-30, 75-25. He takes away a lot of passes that are just tossed up in the air, kind of like a T-Mac. So there's talent out there, man. There's talent out there. Travis Hunter, 5. What? Travis Hunter, 5. Bo Nix and Penix, top 12. Nobody saw. Did you not watch any of my shit last year? Man. I said last year there was going to be 6 quarterbacks in the first round. I did a bunch of videos. I got the same shit I'm getting from Jackson Dart going in the first round. The Raiders is a long shot, right? I like Jackson Dart. I believe he's a damn good quarterback, and of course I want him to draft him. But if there's a chance, a possible small chance, then shit, I'm going to talk about it and bring it up. But I said the same thing about every quarterback in this class. I said McCarthy was going to go in the top 10. I didn't know Penix was going to go in the top 10, but I said he was a first-round quarterback. I figured it'd be in the teens. 13, right? That's what I figured. Most people thought, nah, they won't take him. Well, come to find out, they did have their eye on Michael Penix. Probably a couple other prospects in that draft. Bo Nix, everybody said was a second-round quarterback. There was no way. I was like, bro, this guy goes in the first round. There's no way you pass on this guy that has more snaps in college football than anybody ever. Like, the dude, you could have put up a mailbox. Could have put up his mailbox at Oregon. He could have got mail there and shit. Like, dude could have retired there. He was there so long. So I had that. Not everybody did. Some people did. And before the draft started, before Pete Carroll was even signed, before Spytek was brought into the Raiders, I was saying Jackson Dart was a first-round quarterback. We need a quarterback. That was my pick. They went and got Geno. Of course, all that shit went away. But yeah. Knowledge Untamed. Appreciate the comment. Your thoughts on Andrew Armstrong, wide receiver? Well, I guess I didn't read that fast enough, but I just told you. Opinions change, Rebel. We get it, brother. Whoever has the best scouts win. That's a damn good point. Greg Lira, what's good, my guy? Chucky Smoke, appreciate you. Frank Weber popping in. That's a damn good point. The best scouts could possibly. You would like to think. However, we hear so many teams talk about, bad drafting. We've seen the Giants, right? Hard Knocks. You watch the Giants Hard Knocks. You see how many scouts came in with their opinion of players, and then they decided to go a whole nother way and take Neighbors. He was on the board, but they had a bunch of guys that probably could have went different ways. So sometimes scouts get overlooked. Sometimes general managers, get locked in. Sometimes owners step in and have that man crush on a player, kind of like everybody thought ours did on Shedeur Sanders. Opinions changed, Rebel. We get it, brother. Damn, was I rambling? No bueno. It's no bueno for you. What's good, G? Just got done hitting the doggy. Nice. Raiders need a day one plug and play type player. I would not get mad if we go defense first round. It makes a lot of sense to me. Makes a lot of sense. There are some studs at defense. Absolute killers. I'm not going to call them the D word, because that damn word is starting to make me want to throw up in my mouth again. But man, there's some dogs. Some studs out there for sure. Hold up. Let me pull up this one more thing. My bad. So on that, on that third tier running back scale, have a higher grade probably than a lot of people on Trevor Etienne out of Georgia. And I know a lot of Raider fans are like, we're not taking any more Georgia running backs because of Zamir White. But pump the brakes on Zamir. Give that kid a chance, yo. Contract years are always big for everybody. But Trevor Etienne got good speed for his size. He's a better pass blocker than his brother. He's more explosive, I feel. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. Kind of like that Bucky Irving type. If you're looking for a guy in the third, fourth round, probably fourth round, because I don't, see a lot of teams reaching on running backs, early. Once the top 5 go, maybe 6 or 7 go, first, second round. I think there won't be another run till probably the 5th round, 4th round, probably late 4th, early 5th of a bunch of running backs. But you guys like Rashil Tootin, 4.3 speed, 5'11", 209 pounds. Another bruiser that can run the hell out of the ball. Had a little bit of a fumble problem. Not always the greatest thing, right? Damian Martinez, one of my favorite backs in the draft. I really don't know why he, if he would have ran a better 40 time, I think he would have a better number. But he's a damn good pass blocker. Just go, if you don't even have to watch film on him. Just go watch Miami games if you're trying to see, do some film work on Cam Ward. You can't help but see Damian Martinez just pop out on tape constantly. Whether it's blocking, whether it's, making plays on short screen passes. The dude is dynamic. On the goal line, he's crazy. I think he's one of the best backs out of all these backs. when you get inside 5 yards, 10 yards. It seems like that man with 10 yards out or 10 yards in finds the end zone every time he touches the ball. It's nasty. His feet are constantly moving. He runs with low pad level. He can make you miss if he has to. But, you know, with that 6 foot, 232 pounds, he don't have to make you miss. He's just going to plow you over. So I'm a really big fan of Damian Martinez. There's a lot to like about this guy, in my opinion. And that's why I was like, you know, I don't know where some people have him, but he's definitely somewhere in that, you know, 6, 7, you know, top third tier list, I guess, to me. DJ Giddens, another guy, 6'1", 212, good speed. Could work on his pass rushing or pass blocking a little bit, but another good all-around back, a guy that's could definitely, you know, be a first and second down back, third down back if he had to. Again, you don't really have too much in the NFL no more unless you're that, you know, first round blue chip kind of guy, and even that don't matter, right? Jahmyr Gibbs got drafted in the first round, and he's splitting time, you know, with David Montgomery. So again, you don't always have to be that. A guy that's fallen on a lot of boards is Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma. 2 years ago, the dude was an absolute stud when it came to college football. He was like the Ashton Genty last year. And then I don't know what happened. Not the fastest time, but 6'2", 225. Reminds me of that kind of Eddie George style. Not as quick. Not as big strides. Not as much explosiveness. I just said kind of. Jaden Blue. Jadon Blue. Another guy that, could go, you know, third round. It just depends on the run and where these guys, where this board falls, where this draft board falls. But some of it just looks wild. So let's get into what I was trying to get into. A mock draft by CBS. Son of a... Alright, let's try this one more time. Damn it, I can't fucking breathe. Oh, that's the wrong one. Alright, try this one more time. Cool. Alright, so damn thing work, son. Alright, that looks like shit. I'll move this shit over so we can read the damn thing. I guess we don't really have to read the damn thing. Feel me? Alright. So this is CBS Sports latest mock draft. I don't know, today, yesterday, somewhere in there. They have Cam Ward, obviously, going number 1. 4,313 yards. 200 rushing yards. That's not bad. 7 interceptions with 43 whopping touchdowns. That's pretty damn good, right? That's JD5 type numbers last year. Bo Nix type numbers last year. Projected, the Cleveland Browns do not take Shedeur Sanders. They do not take Abdul Carter. They have them taking Travis Hunter, 2nd overall. So Abdul Carter, instead of Shedeur, goes to the Giants, 3rd overall pick. Mason Graham. Mason Graham, who everybody has mocked to the Jacksonville Jaguars, goes to the Jets. To the Jets, jump in front of the Jacksonville Jaguars and snag Mason Graham. If that happens, I'm gonna shit myself live. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, might need some TP. So Jacksonville Jaguars, you know, getting leapfrog like it was Frogger. They decide to take Will Campbell, which to me would make way more sense, even if Mason Graham was on the board. I'll lean it up so much so I don't hit this shit. But even if Mason Graham is on the board, Campbell just makes sense. You have no playmakers. We talked about that. I made my case for why they should take a player like Ashton Genty or a T-Mac if they feel that's their guy. I just don't want him to be there for the Raiders, possibly. But we've talked about why, right? They have no playmakers besides Brian Thomas Jr. Their offensive line isn't great. Trevor Lawrence needs all the help he can get for him to succeed for the money they are paying this man. He played, 10 games last year? 11 games last year? After getting that big contract, they have to give this man weapons or protect him. You can get weapons in the second and third round, right? So I believe this is a smart decision. Let me know what y'all think. Jacksonville, Will Campbell. They have Ashton Genty going to the Raiders. I ain't even going to talk about that. But Jalen Walker. I've said how much Jahad Campbell, again, some people have him edge, whatever, however you want to put it, not a linebacker. He's listed as a linebacker. I believe he's a linebacker. They have Amari Gaynor listed as a defensive end. I believe he's a linebacker. So I don't know how that shit works, but I do know. I believe Jahad Campbell is better in coverage, getting to the pass rush, tackling. Jalen Walker somehow gets swooped up on by the Patriots, right? The Patriots, 7th overall. That would be surprising to pick, but not him going to the Patriots, but that high, right? Because a lot of people are saying you can't take a linebacker that high. Even when I tried to take Jahad Campbell at 6, because nobody would trade back with me. But at 7, it's cool for Jalen Walker. Let me know. The San Francisco 49ers, another trade from the Carolina Panthers, move up. And you can't probably see their face with the shit at my face. Let me move my shit over here. Hold up. Just cover up both fools. Just put my shit down here. Y'all ain't gotta see me. Alright, that works. So the San Francisco 49ers trade up to the 8th spot with the Carolina Panthers. Makes sense. The Carolina Panthers the last couple years have been all over the draft, trading number 1 picks. Still getting number 1 picks after they traded them. Like, man, this team has had the luckiest draft placements in the last couple years, and most of the time seem to screw it up, right? Like, I don't know how they just keep blasting these picks, but this time they try to get it right. They try to get protection for the quarterback that they took, overall number 1, Armand Membu, 7th overall. See what they say. San Francisco has invested in offensive tackle over the years, trading on player talent trading for paying talent, Trent Williams, and drafting Mike McGlinchey in the first round. Williams may only have 1 or 2 more years left on his contract, which I talked about yesterday, right? We talked about the fact that makes sense for them not moving up. I mean, maybe moving up to 6. Maybe they moved up to 6 to take Membu in front of the Raiders. That's maybe a possibility smokescreen, or why the Raiders are saying, you know, hey, put this out there that we like Membu. Because I talked about it yesterday. The Raiders didn't even have a top 30 visit with this man. I don't even know if they talked to him after the draft or at the draft or anywhere else. But I know the top 30 list that I got, unless I missed it, I didn't see him. So I could be wrong. But taking a top 30 guy, man, that you haven't spent time with, you know, seen their character, spent exclusive time with, just doesn't make sense to me. They moved up to 8. There's a possibility they can move up to 6, right? To go get their guy if they really feel that's their dude. Then the Saints. They have T-Mac to Terrio McMillan going number 9 to the Saints instead of a quarterback. The Chicago Bears, instead of taking a running back, take an edge rusher and Mike Green. That gives them, you know, a dominant pass rusher under a rookie contract for 4 years with a 5th-year option for a long, long time, right? Some say he's right below Abdul Carter. If you look at the PFF grade stat-wise, I believe it's just like 2 or 3 points pretty much in every category. And there's also a guy that's in between him from LSU that I talked about. If y'all know who he is, let me know. So the Carolina Panthers, after moving back to the 11th spot, they take Shamar Stewart, another edge rusher. What's that, 4 off the board already? By 12, 11? That's a lot. That's a lot. So they have no tight end, which I projected to go in the first round. Matthew Golden comes off the board to the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people that think that pick is going to be T-Mac. I could see that pick being a guy, if he's there, like a shutdown corner, like Jahdae Barron or Siobhan Revel Jr. I could also see that pick being a running back like Omarion Hampton, if he's on the board, or Gibbs or Judkins. You never know with Jerry Jones, bro. It could be anybody. They could easily trade out of that pick. This is a shocker too. Kevin Banks Jr. Some have him as their best tackle in this draft. Some have him as their 3rd best tackle in this draft. Some have him at 5. I think he's a mauler. At left tackle, though, I didn't really give it too much thought, right? I didn't give him too much look, I'm going to be honest. I did a little bit of the all-22. I did a little bit of the highlights. I like what I see. The dude's a baller. He's a road grader. He does not quit. He got that JPJ tenacity in him, where he wants to hurt people, it seems like, every single play. It looks like he's out to do some physical damage on some people. So I really like Calvin Banks Jr. 13. I mean, damn. That's why I've said there's other guys that people can move up for in this draft. Everybody has their own draft board, and every team has their own draft board of every other team and what they think they're going to do. So that plays into a huge part. Like, if you're picking, you know, I talked about my draft process. If you watch it on here, we've done a million mock drafts, but I talked about my draft process when I'm, you know, doing mock drafts and how I view my picks and shit. If you think a player that you really like fit your system, but he's 10, 15 spots back, and nobody's going to trade with you, you have to take a chance and take that player, because you're not going to pick again. If you don't pick again before then, more than likely that player is going to be gone. So that's why a lot of teams reach on a lot of players. They go by position of need instead of best player available, and it hurts a lot of people. But I think this dude has all the potential to be, to be that dude. The first tight end off the board is Colston Loveland. Makes a lot of sense, right? The Colts, who knows who's going to be the starter there? Is it going to be Anthony Richardson this year? Or we don't know. So Colston Loveland, I could see them going a lot of ways here. I could see them going linebacker. I could see them going safety. The Colts could even be a team to try to trade up and get a damn quarterback. They don't seem to have a lot of faith in their quarterback right now, in my opinion. It seems to be very, very, very sus, in my opinion. So, Will Johnson falls all the way to 15. Everybody thinks it's the best corner in this draft. Charles Woodson 2.0. You've never heard that from these lips except for there. Chose not to run a 40 times. Some say he ran his 40 times. It was just in the 4.5s, high 4.4s. So he decided not to run. It's the NFL. It's reporters. We don't know how much of that is true. I'm not going to speculate. But I will speculate there's a reason you didn't run your 40. Like, I will say that. If you was running a 4.2, a 4.3, you're running that shit. You're letting everybody know, hey, not only can I do this, and this, but I do have the recovery speed you think I lack because of the injuries that you think slowed me down. I didn't see that. So 12 is a good spot, or 15 is a good spot for him. And a damn good pick for Atlanta. A team that we talked about only has, 4 or 5 picks. A possible trade, candidate, trade possibility if you want to get out of or back into the first round. 15 would be a damn good spot to try. 16 would be a damn good spot to try too. Jahdae Barron. It would be huge for the Raiders if they could get an Ashton Genty and then waste some next year draft capital. Or like I said, maybe some of them players they're talking about trading. Aiden O'Connell that I don't want to see leave. Michael Mayer that I don't want to see leave. Lawrence, my guy, you're back. Appreciate it. Thanks, God. Glad you decided to come back. Means a lot, my guy. Means a lot to me. But Jahdae Barron, bro. Let's read this. Probably has similar versatility to Trent McDuffie, in that he can play on the boundary and line up in the slot. He is best suited, play in the field, and some teams may have a ceiling on where they would draft that player. But Jonathan Gannon comes from Philly, where Cooper DeJean changed that defense not only with his play, but with his spirit. He has all the tools Cooper DeJean has. Can play the slot, could play outside. He would shut down the middle. There would be no teams throwing the ball over the middle for 30, 40-yard gains after contact like there was last year. I can think of numerous times 5-yard, 10-yard slant turned into 15, 20-yard gains or touchdowns. That shit ain't happening with Jahdae. Not happening. Lockdown. So, why I would take him at, 6. Next up, my next guy on this list. Cincinnati can consider offensive guard, but I think they have given the team a defense prospect, which, definitely. They do need offense. but Joe Burrow can make plays with his legs. Joe Burrow can stand in the pocket long enough for guys to get open. You know, one little sidestep or step up in the pocket. He's damn good at that shit. Jeff gifted another 5 wasted. 5 what was I say? 5 Jesus membership. Can't even spit it out. I appreciate you, my guy. Everybody, welcome to the Raiders Unleashed family. James Furpo, Protect the Shield. I ain't seen you in a minute. What's good, Chris? Joanna, Big L, Bosco, what's good? Shane Butler, where you been? Damn, all my peeps in the building. Coming back. And my guy Lawrence missed out. Damn it. All right, let me get back to these chests where I was. So yeah, Jahad Campbell, man. I've said it over and over again for months. We need the linebacker position filled. There's not a thing he can't do. He's an absolute beast in coverage. One of the best in this class. He can get to the quarterback. He can stop the run. You could put him anywhere. He's that, you know, hybrid type player that, whatever you want to call him, the Leo spot, they change it down, which I believe Pete Carroll had a lot to do with, you know, kind of inventing or, you know, bringing out. So Jahad Campbell, man, would love him for the Raiders. 17, 16 seems to be the spot. Like I said, late teens for these guys. Both of my guys, Jahdae Barron and Jahad Campbell. And I think it would be absolutely crazy for the Raiders to not take a chance with the free picks that we have next year coming, and the picks we already have are the players that have been talked about being traded. Aiden O'Connell, Michael Mayer. We don't know what's going on with Colton Miller. You know, there could be some guys that they're still trying to move on from. They're not sure on. You know, there's guys that are on the roster that they could package up with some trade, you know, value this year and next year. We have 3 6th-round picks this year. You could easily get into the first round again with a team like Seattle, with a team like Atlanta. And I know the middle rounds is going to cost more. But why trade back to 32? Prospects like this aren't going to be there. They're going to be absolutely gone. And I think this is a smart pick by the Cincinnati Bengals. They've needed defense for a long time, and this dude turns that whole defense around instantly, in my opinion. Tyler Booker goes pretty early at 18. I had him in the 20s. A dude that I would love to see in the silver and black. One of my favorite guards, not named Gray Zabel or Wyatt Milam, in this draft. I think dude is just a baller. He does not stop until the whistle blows, and I can't count on both hands how many times I've seen this guy just pick guys up and put them on skates all the way to the sideline, like literally to the sideline. Like, dude is carrying them to the bench, like, get off the field, you're not good enough type shit. I've never seen that from anybody. So 6'5", 321. The kid is nasty. I guess not kid, because he a grown-ass man. Like, with that size, 6'5", 321. I guess I shouldn't call you a kid even if you're younger than me, so I'll take that shit back. Grown-ass dude. But plays with a nastiness. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to win every play. He moves guys in the run game. He can beat, you know, he's a guy that's fast enough. He's got enough quickness and mobility where he can help your center, and then he can help get to the next guy, linebackers blitzing or whatever it is. So you can pull him. He's nasty in that too. You don't want to give this guy a running start. You have no chance at all of stopping him. It's like trying to stop a Volkswagen, bro. You ain't gonna do that shit. A man trying to stop a Volkswagen. So damn good pick from Seattle, but I think that's a spot that we could possibly trade up to. My third favorite player in all this draft, not named Ashton Genty, and my guy Jameer Gibbs, not Jameer Gibbs, you know what I mean, Trayvon Henderson. I'm gonna keep saying it. Nick Emanwari. Since the day Pete Carroll got hired, I said this is the best fit for our defense. We'd have to trade back into the late rounds, which could be a possibility. I mean, we could do, right? We could trade back and get a quarterback like a Jackson Dart. Like, it could happen. It's the Raiders. We need a quarterback that can change shit in our division. So, get away from that. Nick Emanwari, it's not even funny. 6'3", 220. At the combine, they had him 225, so he put on 5 pounds after the season to the combine. What is there not to say about Nick Emanwari? 6'3", 225. We have Jeremy Chin, 6'3", 225. They both run in the 4.3s. The dude runs a 4.38. It's not even. It should be illegal. It should be illegal to run that fast at that size. It should not. And it's almost like a guy, I want to say Divine Diablo, which, damn it, you know, he was fast. He was a safety. They moved to a linebacker. This dude is way faster, tackles way better. Probably about the same in coverage. I'm not gonna lie, Divine Diablo was good in coverage. That was one of his strong suits. But Nick Emanwari is special. Like, if you want to talk about generational talent, how can you not mention this guy in there? Safeties do not come 6'3", 225 with this athleticism. The man had a 43-inch vertical. He ran a 4.38 40, and he had an 11.9, I believe, broad jump. Come on, man, get the fuck. That's illegal. That's robot style shit right there. That man should not be labeled as a human being, in my opinion. And again, I would do anything in my power if I was Pete Carroll to go get this guy, and I feel he will. So, I mean, I don't know how, but could you just imagine getting a Jahad Campbell at 6 and then trading back up somewhere and taking a Nick Emanwari, or getting a Jahdae Barron at 6 and then trading back up, getting a Jahad Campbell or a Nick Emanwari? Our defense would be solidified for the next 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 years. I mean, damn, if they stay healthy, of course, it is the NFL. If we can afford to pay them after their rookie contract is up, because it's going to be a big ass bag. It's going to be a big bag. But yeah, those are my 3 biggest prospects in this draft. I've talked about it for months and months and months and months. Tampa Bay gets a steal, and it's kind of funny. They go to a team like Tampa Bay, a team that Spytek was at for a long time, the last 3-4 years. Kind of fits his style too, right? And they go get a guy kind of fits his style. I could really see some trades happening. This is nasty. I do not want to see this. Let me know in the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you cool with a Marion Hampton becoming a donkey? Excuse me, a Denver Bronco. I'm not, bro. I'm not at all. Nasty, nasty work. So if that happens, I'm not even gonna read his shit because it says Broncos. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Many say it's Shedeur Sanders, but there are just as many that say it's Jackson Dart. Who's it gonna be for the Steelers? Are they gonna sit and wait at 21? Right, 21? Are they gonna sit and wait at 21 for something to happen? Or are they gonna be players? They're going to jump up in this draft. It's been a long time, if ever, that I can remember in my 50 years, 45 years of watching football. Since Mike Tomlin's been a Steeler, 17, 18 years now? That you see them make big moves in the first round and do crazy shit. But I could see it this year. They need a quarterback. They need a quarterback of the future. They kind of like the Raiders. They've been swinging and missing since we lost DC. They lost Roethlisberger a lot longer than it was that we lost DC. So it's a damn good fit for Shador. He stays in the first round. But I could see them having to go up and get him. You know, with the shit going on with the Saints, I don't see the Saints being players. I feel they're kind of like the Raiders. I feel both of those teams believe in Jackson Dart more than they do Shador Sanders. Tyler Warren. They have fallen to the Chargers. This makes me sick. Makes me absolutely sick. Penn State tight end Tyler Warren, 6'6", 256. Has everything Brock Bauer has. He could catch. He can run. He's physical after the catch. They've lined the dude up at running back. They put him at quarterback. They put him at center and let him go out and catch a pass after he hiked the ball for a touchdown. This kid is another special kid in this draft. Like, there are a lot of people in this draft that have special traits that are getting overlooked, but the talent and the athleticism, the size from this man is just scary. And for him to be in our division with Omari and Hampton, fuck it would, oh God, it's gonna get rough. So let's pray that my prediction comes true. On my other mock drafts, that Tyler Warren goes in the top 10. I don't see him getting out of the top 10. I see somebody moving up to get him, in my opinion, or just taking him where he is. Derek Harmon, a damn good pickup, I believe, for the Packers. But I could see them also trying to squeeze up and take a Trey Amos, a Siobhan Ravel Jr., a Jade Barron. I could see all those guys, and I believe they all go in the first. But I could see a team like that being, they went and got Nate Hobbs. There's a big shit going on right now with Jair Alexander. There's been teams calling. The Packers have said they are willing to move on for the right price. They wouldn't have leaked that they were interested in moving on from Jair Alexander if they weren't interested in moving on. And if they didn't have a replacement, is my point. There are a couple replacements in this draft. I named them, right? Trey Amos, Siobhan Ravel. Shit, you can even go farther down the line. I mean, like I said, there's probably, it's pretty damn close. Darius, the fuck is his name? Damn it, I can't remember. But there's the other corner, Denarius. Somebody let me know in the chat if y'all know who the hell I'm talking about. But I believe, dude, is another guy that can go in the first round. So I could see this pick for the Packers, but I could see it also going another way. Either way, that's a damn good spot. Josh Connerly, 2. That's right, another trade. The Patriots move up with Minnesota Vikings and take their offensive tackle. So not only do they get their tackle, who they taking at first? Oh, they traded back again, didn't they? Oh, no, that was their pick. Oh, yeah. So they got Javon Walker at 7. They traded back from 4 to 7. They go get their edge rusher. And then they go and get their offensive tackle to protect their quarterback of the future, Drake May, who I thought was very, very impressive last year. If he would have started the whole entire season, I'm not sure if he would have struggled more, if his numbers would have been better or worse. But the dude had a pretty damn good year for the team he got drafted to and the holes they had. But this is a good fit. Gray Zabel, Houston Texans. This is absolutely amazing for CJ Stroud, right? Gray Zabel, top 5 lineman. on my top 5 list, I would move up and get him if I was the Raiders. He's not going in the second round. You know, instead of a Mimbu, instead of a Will Campbell, if it's not Emery or a Charles Grant or one of these guys from, you know, a big tackle from a smaller school, Gray Zabel, dude. Gray Zabel is nasty. JPJ style. We talked about it a million times. Can play all 5 positions. He shores up the guard spot right away. And you're not taking him, you know, at 6 or 13. And if something happens to Colton Miller, he could easily slide over to the tackle spot. He has the arm length. He has the size. 6'6", 312. Definitely needs to pack on some weight. But he's athletic. He's athletic as hell. He's a big guy that, you know, not a lot of extra body fat and shit. And freakishly strong. Freakishly strong. So that's a damn good pick for Houston. Maxwell Harrison, another corner, goes in the first round to the Rams. Walter Nolan, crazy if he falls this far. Call me wild, call me a rebel, call me what you will. I'm taking Walter Nolan over Mason Graham. I'm sorry. Like, I am. Like, I just, for some reason, it's Walter Nolan for me. Graham is not a top 10 pick in my opinion. I fell asleep watching his all-22 twice now, which probably says something. He got double teamed a lot, couldn't beat the double team. We talked about it yesterday. Not many plays where he beats a double team. Most of his tackles are, you know, staying with this guy, and then releasing and chasing down a linebacker who's trying to cut or stop on a dime and, you know, make a cut. I've seen a lot of those tackles. I did see him, you know, get through the line a lot. I seen him line up at edge. I don't know why. It was ugly. Like, to get, I don't know. To me, Walter Nolan is an athletic freak, bro. For 6'4", 296, you should not be able to move like that. That's offensive line type athleticism, and probably could play on that side. But if he falls this far, the Ravens, damn, that's nasty for them. That's one of their big issues, right? Is they have all the offense in the world, but they can't stop teams. They had shootouts with the Bengals. They had shootouts with the Bills, I think. They had shootouts with everybody last year. Shit, they even let us come back and beat them with Gardner flipping Minshew. So, yeah, they need defense, and Walter Nolan is a surefire pick right there. Mikael Williams, my third, fourth, probably. I don't know. There's like a whole line of tier of edge rushers that I have that I can't figure out who's the best. They all have similar traits. Some have better than others at certain, but it equals out to about the same. I just don't see Abdul Carter being drastically generationally different than guys like Mikael Williams. 260 pounds, 6'5", freakish athlete, freakish bend, played on one leg most of the season. After the second or third game, he hurt his leg, came out of the game. They didn't want him to go back in. He went back in. He practiced lightly, but played in every single game on minimum practice and put up the numbers he did. Is freakish. Like, that's a warrior. That's a dude I want on my team. That's a dude that's not going to quit. He's going to play hurt. And, you know, they don't make him like that anymore. That's Max Crosby type shit. He don't care what the injury is. He's not giving up on his team. He's playing. So, Mikael Williams, that's a long way to fall for me, 28. But a damn good pick for the Lions. Shores up their shit. Edge rusher again, back to back. Washington gets another damn good edge rusher. 6'3", 248, athletic as hell, can get to the passer. Definitely going to help in that division when you got to chase Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. Going to help a lot. I know I'm getting to the chat. I'm sorry I'm way behind. But I can't do both. Kenneth Grant. I believe is better. If not, okay, maybe not better. Better at rushing the passer. Really, really close. At pass rush defense is Kenneth Grant. Call me crazy. But when you're watching the all 22 of Mason Graham, this man flashes so much that you get lost and forget that you're watching 55. So, I did. Just me. I was like, holy shit, this dude is wild, bro. Freakishly strong. Quick, has a violent, nasty, violent hands. A solid, scary pick that the Bills have been needing for a much long needed long time. Kenneth Grant falling that far is crazy for them. Donovan Jackson, a guy that I have like 3 guys tied for 5th in my offensive lineman. He's one of them. Ohio State guy, would be great for the Raiders. Knows Chip Kelly's system. Just got to learn, the lingo. But a guy you wouldn't have, he's already got a step ahead of everybody on that offensive line and could help the rest of the offensive line. And I would not be mad if they took Donovan Jackson in the 2nd round at all. If he falls to the 2nd round, I would be, I'd be perfectly happy with them taking a chance like they did with JPJ. 37th, Donovan Jackson. I would not be mad to hear his name. Or Horace Grant. That's a damn basketball player. George Grant. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. Or a Gray Zabel if he falls. I just don't see that being the pick. 32, Malik Starks, safety. If they get Malik Starks on that defense, man, these clowns are going to the they're going to the Super Bowl again. That's a hard team to contend with right there. But here it is. Here's the 2nd round. Let's do it real fast. Josh Simmons, I believe, is a 1st round pick. Like I said, he's on my, I think I have him 4th. If he wasn't injured, just a guy that's gonna help us a lot. So either one of those dudes, really, I would not be mad on our team. Jackson Dart falls to 34. I don't see that happening, but he goes to the Giants, which could possibly be the case. James Pierce Jr. falls completely out of the 1st round. We talked about a lot of the edge rushers. There was like 4 in a row, 3 in a row a minute ago. But for this man to drop out of the 1st round, if I'm the Raiders and he passes on, all the shit that they were talking about him, how do you not take the backup to, or maybe the future if Malcolm Kuntz doesn't work, or Malcolm Kuntz, I'm not going to say that, but if it doesn't work out, Trixie Blue, appreciate you subscribing. Well, yeah, James Pierce falling that far is, there's got to be too many red flags in my opinion. It's not just outside of football shit. There's got to be something else. It's got to be player character or something wild in my opinion. Shield family super chat. Dude, what? Did I miss another one? Jesus. Oh no. All right. So yeah, James Pierce, Tennessee Titans. Let's get this shit going. Luther Burden. Almost everybody on the planet had this dude as the number 2 receiver in this draft before the combine. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he fell off so bad. The dude is a very, very explosive receiver that could get open at a drop of a dime. Reminds me of Worthy over there at Kansas City. Not as quick as we thought, I guess, at the combine. Emeka Egbuka, they have projected going to the Raiders at 37. That would be a pick that I would not be mad at. However, you can't sit and wait But if Jalen Noel keeps falling like everybody thinks, third round, if you can get a Jalen Noel, sorry, not Noel, if you get Jalen Noel in the third, I'm taking him there. And then shit, if you have shit, two of those guys, maybe you take one and take a Meki Ibuka in the second, and then one of those guys fall in the third, and you just can't pass on that. That would be freakish for Geno. That would be freakish. But I wouldn't be mad at a Meki Ibuka. I got him top 5 receiver easily. Trey Amos falls out of the first round in this draft. Ole Miss corner to the Vikings. Viva New England trade. The Bears take Travion Henderson at 39. He's not going to be there. And I talked about it the last couple shows. I could really see a scenario where the Bears swing for the fences and jump up. Maybe not to 6, but maybe they stay at 10 and take Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm sorry. Not you know who it is. Trayvon Henderson. Yes, first round, 10 to the Bears. I just look at everything that's happened with Ben Johnson since he got the job as offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, right? We talked about it 2 days ago, yesterday and the day before. I was supposed to pull up some shit of people saying Jahmyr Gibbs was not a first round pick. It was a reach. It's a luxury pick. The Lions should never ever do it. It's not gonna work. You don't take running backs in the first round. We heard all that shit. Well, I was one of those dudes saying bullshit. You take Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round, no matter who you are, what team you are. This kid is special. Travion Henderson, I feel the same damn way. We talked about it earlier. Everything I'm not gonna go into all his traits, but damn, I don't see him falling to the second round. This is wishful thinking because a lot of people say you don't draft running backs in the first round. However, the way shit has went with the running back situation, I really see a scenario where this guy goes in the first round, and I can see the Bears taking him at 10. It's a Brian Johnson type pick. The running back that they have in the building, Deontay, he got traded when Ben Johnson took over at the Lions. There's a very big possibility he gets traded now that he is with the Bears. Maybe a draft day thing. I don't know. To try to move up, get some more picks in the first round. I don't know. Maybe move back. But Travion Henderson makes all the sense in the world to the Chicago Bears. I want him to be a Raider, though. I want him to be a Raider. If we get 2 guys from Ohio State that already know Chip Kelly's system, or 3 guys, could you imagine a world where we could possibly, very possibly, get a guy like Donovan Jackson, Josh Sims in the first round by trading back? Then you have a second round, you take a Meki Ibuka. If you trade back, more than likely, if you're trading back out at a 6th spot, you have another second round pick. And you take your running back, Travion Henderson, if he's there. That's crazy. Or you take Travion Henderson late in the first rounds, and you get Donovan Jackson in the second, and a Meki Ibuka in the second. 3 Ohio State. That would be crazy. That would skyrocket this offense, in my opinion, to the next level. And make Geno's life so much easier. You got 3 guys that can help everybody in the offense learn the system like that. Trey Amos, we talked about. Henderson, Benjamin Morris, I believe definitely is a second round pick. The Saints would be a great spot for that dude. Tyleik Williams, Ohio State to the Bears. Mason Taylor, another tight end, LSU. Shamal Turner. Quinshon Judkins falls to 44. He's been projected over and over again to be the Raiders, pick in the third round. I've had him mocked in my first couple mock drafts going in the third round. And I believe if he's there in the third round and we don't take a running back in the first or second, Judkins is that guy. Judkins is definitely that guy in the third, possibly the second, if Travion's not there in front of him. But if Henderson's in front of him, I could see that being more Chip Kelly's guy. Alfred Collins, a way underrated defensive tackle, falls to the second round to the Colts. They got 2 killer defensive players. Nick Scorton, another monster edge rusher, to the Falcons. My guy Landon Jackson, who just worked Mimbu, made that boy lunch, breakfast, had him carrying a hard hat and a lunch pail all day long. He had to go to work. Landon Jackson to the Cardinals. That gives them a freakish edge rusher. Definitely not, every down, but he's going to come into his own pretty quick. That dude is smart as hell, and he caused havoc in Arkansas, I guarantee you, on a lot of SEC teams. Jackson Dart, the LSU quarterback that I can't say his name right because I always get it messed up. The Dolphins pick Azaria Thomas, Xavier Watt to the Bengals, Siobhan Ravel to the Seahawks at 50. There's no way. No way. Write it down right now. Rebel, hot takes, keep receipts, whatever you want to do. He don't fall to 50, bro. There's no way. I just do not see that. Jaden Higgins, who I have as kind of a 3-man battle for the number 1 receiver on my board. And I'd be happy with any of them. But in the second round, late in the first, if he gets out of the first, you got to move up, to the first pick in the second round and grab this dude if he's there. It would change everything for this offense. Definitely a Mike Evans type guy. 1,000-yard receiver every single year if he's healthy. Just crisp route running, great hands, separation is nasty, just like his counterpart, who I talked about, Jalen Noel, who I just absolutely love as a prospect in this draft. And I don't know why why he doesn't have a first round grade. It makes no sense to me. Carl Schlesinger would be another great pick for the Raiders, UCLA linebacker. But kind of reminds me of, a Tommy Eichenberg style, who we already have. Caleb Johnson, some people have a first round grade on, falls to 54. I wouldn't be mad at that. Jay, I don't know, at Ohio State. Darian Porter, that's the dude's last name. Flip. Ohio State corner, I have, at 5. If he makes it this far, shit. And the Raiders didn't take, we didn't take him at 37. I think that's a mistake. He's definitely a second round corner, a high second round corner that's going to give us more than Jacorian Bennett, more than DCam, more than anybody we have right now. Then maybe Evans, but I don't know if he gets back to first round form. But with his speed and his size, I said he could easily own that spot from day one. But Darian Porter's going to compete. Jared Wilson, the guard out of Georgia. There's been many talks, a lot, mostly by Hondo, that the Raiders absolutely love this guy. He is a dude. No. But yeah, Jared Wilson at center. I don't think we need a center. I don't think he's as good as Will Putnam that we already have on the practice squad, in my opinion. Darius Alexander out of Toledo, defensive tackle. Princeton Omanali, I don't know, out of Ole Miss, edge rusher to the Ravens. This is absolutely crazy. Ariante Ezeri, Minnesota tackle, fallen to 60. The Raiders do not take a tackle in the first round, or do not trade back up into the first round to get a tackle. No matter what player is on the board, I don't care if it's, okay, maybe Travion Henderson, I'm going to take that back. But if it's a receiver, we can get one the next round. You got to take him at 37. You can't pass on this dude. He's going all the way to 60. That is highly, highly underrated. Guys that move like this last many, many years in the NFL. His knowledge, the way he picks up the game, kind of like a DJ Glaze did at the Senior Bowl. You know, he was missing on some things. They changed some things. The dude had a damn good Senior Bowl, had a good draft, and had an amazing rookie year for a third-round pick. So this is one of my dogs right here. Ariante Ezere is out of Minnesota, is a freak. Jalen Milroe, 61 to the Browns. If the Browns really believe in him, I don't see him waiting until 61. I see him taking him with the 33rd pick overall. Kevin Winston falls to 62. This is a guy that should be early second in my opinion. Maybe, you know, depending on what team needs. But if you need a safety and you're in the first round late, you cannot let this guy get by you, in my opinion. Josh Farmer, Florida State defensive tackle, is a crazy pick there. And the Eagles take a guy that I have mocked 3 or 4 times, but I was taking him in the 5th round because he was not rated this high. But after the combine, all that shit went out the window. Olafemi Oladeju, UCLA, can play Sam, can play Will, can play the edge. They moved him to the edge. The dude had, I think, 5 sacks in one game or some shit. In his first game at edge. Wasn't as great every game after that, but just a freak of nature, a raw prospect that didn't really start playing football, I think, until his junior year or some shit, they said. So this dude played like 2 years of football in college football, or junior year in high school. So dudes played like 3-4 years of football. That's freakish. Way underrated prospect in my opinion. But if I'm the Raiders, I'm not taking him in the second round. Again, if we trade back and we have a later round pick like this, 63, 64, I wouldn't mind taking him. I'm not going through all of these picks, but I do want to say the Chiefs got Noah Williams out of Cal, which is another corner that I have, you know, graded pretty high on my list. 4th round, 3rd round, somewhere in there. The Raiders, though, they have the Raiders taking Tyler Shuck at 67 or 68. That's wrong, bro. That's wrong. That is absolutely wrong. How could you even put us there? Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Put that bad juju on me. Yeah, so it took a while to get to this, but man, I had to throw it out there. That shit is freakish. And if that happens, this is not the draft I thought it was going to be. And these are not the staff I thought we had on the roster. So fucking. Let me catch up to this. Rebel, what's your best off-season moves this year? Top 3. Raider, we need a day 1 plug and play. All right, got that. Best 3 top moves. Shout out to everybody that's popped in the building. Hit them likes. I know I'm way behind in the chat. It happens. I'm slow, but I got to do my shit. Off-season moves. Jeremy Chin. Eric Stokes. Easily Eric Stokes. I'm kind of hoping it's Lonnie. I really want to see Lonnie, you know, be that first round talent he was drafted as. That would make this team special. If we could get Eric Stokes, to be what he was projected to be, where he was drafted, and Lonnie Johnson, I would love that. But I think Mostert was a big pickup for us, I believe. You know, whether he starts or not, he's still going to give us production, whether it's blocking and pass coverage on third downs, whether it's screen plays, whether it's out routes, whether it's short plays out of the backfield. He's going to give us somewhere in the range of where we got from our other guys last year. If he's not the starter, if he is the starter, it's going to be better than Abdullah, better than Madison, in my opinion. Again, another guy that knows Chip Kelly, that has a relationship with Chip Kelly. Those things go a long, long way into, making shit smooth for the team. So that's mine. Best player available. Fuck it if we fail. Look at Bowers. Bowers wasn't really a best player available. Bowers was the best player in the draft, top 3. In my opinion, he was easily the top 3 or 4 best player in the draft. Kind of like Ashton Jeanty is, in my opinion, in this draft. Teams just undervalued the tight end position like they do the running back spot. And again, Hondo preaches on there's horrible drafting, and I preach the same thing. We've all seen it. We're Raider fans. We've seen the horrible drafting year after year after pick after pick after year after pick after year. It happens. We're not the only team. There's a lot. So, I don't know. Best pick available. Always works. I mean, not always works. I don't know why I said always works, but best pick available. We've heard Spytek said he doesn't go by that strategy because he believes you get caught up in picks that you don't need. Now, if you go best pick available at 6, say all the guys we want: Mason Graham, Ashton Jeanty, Mimbu, Will Campbell. Say all those guys are off the board, and you got Johnson, Shador, maybe a Dart. If you need a quarterback, maybe that's one of the top prospects in this draft that they think fucking they need for the future. I'm just, throwing it out there. But if you got those guys on the board, taking a quarterback, if he's the best player available, would not be a wise choice. Just paying Geno $66 million, in my opinion. That would not, you're gonna get a low ass grade if you do a mock draft, and you're gonna get a horrible grade from all the analysts in ESPN and NFL.com and all that shit. Kind of like we got on DJ Glaze last year. That grade was awful for what they graded that dude at, but he's proved them wrong, right? He proved them wrong. So I don't think Brock Bowers fell into our lap. I think it was just bad drafting, and you can't pass. Yes, he was best player available. I mean, obviously, but he was the best player available the pick before that, the pick before that, the pick before that. You know what I mean? So that was just a situation where you can't pass. You can't pass on best available. We had Michael Mayer, but it didn't matter. It was Brock Bowers, right? It was a different story. And you could say that maybe with the quarterback situation. You could say, well, we have Geno, but it was Shador Sanders, or it was Jackson Dart sitting there. Everybody in the NFL that needs a quarterback want these two guys, right? How do you pass on them? We need a quarterback still. We don't have one for the future. We have one on a deal that can possibly get out in 2 years. So I don't always like best available. And like I said, let me finish. Spytek said you get caught up in, taking a guy that you don't really need. We have a whole lot of defensive linemen that are going to be struggling, to get the time they really believe they deserve. And Adam Butler, Tyree Wilson, probably Jonah Lalu, Christian Wilkins, Carter we just brought in. There's going to be a lot of guys battling hoping they get more playtime than what they're getting. So drafting a Mason Graham at 6 to me would be a luxury pick, like people say, right? It's yes, we need defense constantly. I'm way behind in the chat. That was hours ago. Hey Rebel, I tagged your page a few times. Appreciate it. We're just fans, so we have no say in whom we're gonna pick. We only have players we would like to pick. We can just wait till the draft and go from there. Yeah, that's all mock drafts are, right? Is players we would like to pick. If we did mock drafts on players the Raiders had to pick, shit, we'd be GMs. Jeff in the building. Shane Butler, I don't know where you been, bro. Trixie Blue, appreciate you subbing. Thanks for the membership. Jeff says you're welcome. That's it. Tony Chef in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good? You really like players born in Kansas City, Ezra and No. I like them too. Bro, I don't care if you're born in Kansas City. They're not a Chief. They don't wear red. They're not playing for them. But I do like, I really do like Ezri. The man's freakish talent to me. I don't know how he's not talked about being one of the best guys up there. Like, I don't see much bad from this dude at all. I mean, he's fast enough. He's fast enough to take, to get those 3 steps off, to get to the outside, to put guys on their back. He's got the strength to deal with bull rushers like Tyree Wilson. There's really nothing he can't do. His pass blocking and run blocking, I believe, in this draft are probably the, close to, if not the best. Like, he's damn good at both. And yeah, Jalen Noel is, I get the same vibes as Brian Thomas Jr. last year. Brian Thomas Jr. was, I had listed as the number 1 receiver in this draft. I had Malik Neighbors number 1A, and I had Brian Thomas Jr. 1B. It was that close. Yes, over Marvin Harrison. Yes, over Roma Dunze. Yes, over all those dudes. I made videos. People were like, bro, come on. I got comments. I laughed at them. But look at it now. Brian Thomas Jr. was easily not only the best receiver taken in the draft, but you could argue the best player behind Jaden Daniels in the out of all the prospects in the draft. And Brian Thomas Jr., you could argue, is right there, number 3, right behind Malik Neighbors. So those are the dudes I had last year. These are the guys I have this year. It's easy. Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, just nasty prospects. And yes, I have them ranked up there with Brian Thomas Jr. That's why I just can't believe they would even be thought of slipping out of the first round, let alone the second. That's wild to me. That's wild. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm a Raider fan, and I am an East Bay man. And there's one thing I can't stand, and that's the 49ers. Gladdy Raiders, salute to you. We're on the same page, bro. I'm not. I'm not a 49er fan either. Ooh, that was sweet. Damn. I like Joe Montana. I liked Roger Craig. I love Jerry Rice. I was the biggest, and still am, the biggest Ronnie Lott fan on the planet. And the day he went to the Raiders, I must have screamed for probably a week. at the top of my lungs, just running around screaming. Ah! Yeah, I was a little kid, so it don't matter. I'm just saying. And I'm still probably screaming. I'm still happy as hell that he ever became a Raider. So, not a 49er fan. Not from the Bay. I'm a LA dude. I was a LA Raider fan. I was an Oakland Raider fan before LA Raider fan, because I'm old enough to be able to say that, which shows my age. But I liked a lot of players on the 49ers. They had a dynasty. I'm a big, I love Steve Young. Steve Young was kind of like a Jackson Dart to me, right? A guy that's not the greatest, not the fastest, not the strongest, but he has all the intelligence. He knows football. He can read defenses. He studies film. He knows what teams are going to do against him. He knows players' tendencies. He learns all this shit really quick. He processes it really quick. Yes, I just compared Rich Gannon and Jackson Dart in the same sentence. So, yeah. Not a 49er fan, but I did like a lot of 49 players. And Ronnie Lott, again, was probably one of my all-time favorite Raiders. I wish he was drafted there so he could have, been that Raider for life. But anybody that loves the sport so much that they'll cut off their damn pinky finger to go back into a game, to me, is the greatest damn player on the history of the planet. Kind of like a Jim Otto. Like, you break your orbital bone. You have your face mask and them shitty ass helmets back in the day slamming into your face over and over and over again because they're not big enough, they're not tight enough, they got no padding inside, and they just move around. Remember back in the day, you see people get hit, and quarterbacks and their face mask would be over, they'd be looking sideways through the ear hole and shit. Could you imagine playing every play at center with a busted orbital bone? That's this bone right here in your eye. So your eye's swollen, you can't see. You're taking on monster guys on the other side, double teaming you, just constantly smashing helmet to helmet into you, and you don't miss a game, you don't miss a beat. Like, that's why I'm a Raider fan, guys like that. Definitely. Slammy Sammy Joe, what's good? Yeah, I think best receiver last year went Brian Neighbors, Bowers, and Brian Thomas Jr. Well, I didn't have Bowers in the receivers. I had him as a tight end, before the draft. And I definitely had him as a generational, as people say. I talked about it being one of my generational guys. I just didn't think he would fall to the Raiders. And I really didn't think... Well, if there was a quarterback there, they might not have taken him. They might have missed on that prospect. And I'll feel that way till I go to my grave. If Penix was there, if Bo Nix ended up falling, one of those guys, they probably would have passed on Brock Bowers just because we needed a quarterback so bad. And the nation, if there was a quarterback there and we passed, would have been flipping the hell out. They probably would have been even more pissed after he had the year he had with whatever team he went to. Could you imagine him going to a team that had a quarterback and an offensive line and a running game? Flipping nasty. But yeah, Brock Bowers was easy top of the class. And player wise, I had him top 3. But receivers, I didn't have him listed in there. But yeah, he you could put him in there. I'd probably have him... Shit, I don't know. If you put him at receiver, it might be one of those, tier one, top three players in one tier type thing. Because, damn, if you put in his strength, the yards after the catch, it's got to put him really close to Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. Especially as many slot plays that he ran. Outside plays, that dude is special. Shout out to Brock Bowers, should have been rookie of the year in my opinion. 49ers and Cowgirls draft well. Free agency, not so much. I mean, they did move up and get Christian McCaffrey, right? That seemed to work out pretty well for a while. Got him to a couple Super Bowls. I consider tight receivers, tight end as receivers, just not the wide kind. I get you. But yeah, he's definitely. I mean, you can categorize him as pretty much XY. You know, shit. You might even categorize him as a fullback. I think he would excel in that position too. I know Michael Mayer would, but yeah, Bowers is nasty, dude. I'm so glad we got that dude and didn't do nothing stupid and pass on generational talent. But well, Christian McCaffrey wasn't a free agent. Great trade though. Oh yeah, I forgot the Panthers drafted him. What am I saying? Good call. Damn, made me look dumb. But yeah, so your point, they do they do not draft as well as they do in free agency. So for sure, Brock Purdy was a damn good find though. I'm not gonna lie about that. What do y'all think about Brock Purdy? Has he signed yet? Has he got an extension? Is that gonna be a problem? Could you see him possibly getting traded? Who they got backing him up? Shout out to the 14 people in the building, rocking with your guy. Oh, on the what did I get called today? Oh, to late night zombie show. So I guess all y'all in the chat are zombies. Which I'm gonna change the name because I liked it. It was kind of catchy. The late night zombie show. Which I don't know why they say late night, because I go on at 9 o'clock. So I guess maybe if you're on the East Coast, it's what, 11? So it's a little late. Maybe I should go on a little earlier. But I kind of like the name. They got Mac Jones as a backup. How y'all feel about Brock Purdy? Mac Jones was a first round pick, wasn't he? He had a damn good rookie year. Now he struggled after Josh McDaniels left, after Bill Belichick started getting senile. I'm just kidding. He struggled a little bit. He didn't do too bad when he had to play in Jacksonville last year. I thought he did okay for a shit offensive line with one weapon named Brian Thomas Jr. There could be a battle there. That could be a camp battle. Maybe there's a reason they haven't signed that Brock Purdy extension yet, unless they have, and I don't know because I don't really follow the Niners. I just kind of stay in the news. But damn, if they haven't signed that extension to Brock Purdy, there could be some problems over there. I could see it. Mac Jones having all those weapons. Christian McCaffrey healthy. If they, trade up in the draft and get offensive linemen like they were talking about, that could be nasty, nasty, nasty. And if anybody could turn quarterbacks around, I mean, he's not no Sean McVay or nothing. One of the most overhyped quarterback draft classes. Absolutely, it was. Absolutely, I didn't see that at all. And it kind of reminds me of this class. I mean, to tell you the truth, I just don't see a world where Cam Ward is the number one pick on the planet anywhere. I don't care how much you need a quarterback. I really don't. It, to me, whoever drafted Will Levis, y'all got to eat that for another year. You got to eat that for another year. If it was the head coach that's there that drafted him, you should have to be stuck with him for at least 2 years. You made that call. The GM made that call, which is probably why he's not there. But I'm sure the coach signs off on it. Coach ain't gonna say, "Yeah, I can work with that quarterback. Let's get him." If he don't think, that's the guy that he could work with. So that situation to me in Tennessee is nasty, and that's a disgruntled ass franchise. I thought the Raiders were bad. They are in a shitty spot. I was pissed because we had the number one pick and we let it go. But now that I see the prospects at number one and who we could have picked instead of Genty or trading back, I'm so glad. Thank God for Antonio Pierce. Thank God for Aiden O'Connell that we won those 2 games. In my opinion, being at 1 scares the shit out of me because we would be in the same damn situation as the Titans are right now. It would be Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, possibly a Jackson Dart. And that would be our picks, knowing we needed a quarterback. And maybe they wouldn't have went and traded for Geno. And maybe that would be our options. That would be absolutely shitty to me. I do not want Cam Ward. I do not want Shador. I'm not going to be, pissed off if we get him. If he's bad, I'm going to be really pissed if it doesn't work. But I'm not going to be mad if we get him. Jackson Dart, I think, after a year is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in this draft and possibly at a next year's draft. To me, the talent is up there with a lot of those guys taken in the top 10 last year or the top 12 last year with those 6 quarterbacks. Bo Nix, Michael Penix, even J.J. McCarthy. Like, J.J. McCarthy throws the ball way harder, but the accuracy, the ability to be decisive at the line of scrimmage, to know the plays that are coming, all that shit you need upstairs to be a quarterback and be able to escape the pocket, have a quick release because you ran a system that was you had one receiver on every play. That if not, go to the next down, throw it to your check down. Basically, they sat and waited for that, whatever the route was. If it was the X receiver, they waited for that dude to get open in Lane Kiffin's system. I've seen it a lot on film. But when there was pressure, he didn't take a sack. He avoided the sack and usually turned it into positive yards most of the time. So to me, that's the only reason I would take a guy there, but not at 6. I wouldn't take any of these guys at 6. I would trade back as far as you can and then just take your chance if you believe that's your guy. So I would hate to be in that spot that they're in right now. Because if Cam Ward is not the guy, you not only took Will Levis, first pick in the 2nd round, and didn't even give him time to develop. You don't know what a quarterback is unless he's Jaden Daniels, which you don't know what a quarterback is until the 3rd year. Jaden Daniels had a rookie of the year type year, right? Definitely was the rookie of the year. But most quarterbacks in the NFL have a sophomore slump. Teams have film on them. They know their tendencies. They can watch, where his eyes are looking, if, where his head goes, how fast he takes to go through his progressions. If he's waiting for guys to get open. When defenses know that shit, it's the NFL. They're the best of the best. They're going to key in on that shit. He's not going to be able to do what he did last year. If he does, then he's special. He's that dude. He's generational. We already knew that. But it takes 3 years to evaluate talent to see what they have. Same thing with Aiden O'Connell. This dude is proven 3-1 in division, thrown into a fire, 4th round pick, that he can win games, that he could be that dude. When we have weapons around him, when the team rushes for 100 yards or more with Aiden O'Connell under center, they're 6-1, should be 7-0. If it wasn't for a botched snap with the Chiefs. This is shit I'm talking about. They don't give teams quarterbacks time to develop. So you got a guy in the 4th round, you should have minimum think 3 years before he even starts to prove anything. Aiden O'Connell had flashes in the 1st year and 2nd year, and they're still went away from him and won't give him a chance. So there's reasons, why guys don't develop, or why you have to wait till the 3rd year to see, if they are that guy. Brock Bowers, you could say the same thing. He had a hell of a rookie year. We didn't have a great offense around us. He pretty much had to be the primary weapon and the number 1 target. And if he wasn't there, he was the number 2 target. And if he wasn't there, he was, the number 5 target. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go back to 1, because hope to God he's open. So Brock was that dude, way more than he had to have been. I don't know if he has the same year next year, right? With the Geno Smith, who we were supposed to go over stats today. I will get to Geno's probably, and that's it. I'm gonna fucking call it a night. Been 2.5 hours. Way too long again. I gotta make these shorter somehow. Damn it. But I just can't help talk Raider football. Maybe I'll go an hour in the morning or daytime and then 2 hours at night. I don't know. I gotta figure this shit out. But so yeah, you gotta let guys develop. And usually the rule of thumb is 3rd year. That's why most guys not taken in the 1st round have a 3-year window with a 4th year option. Guys taken in the 1st round have a 4-year window, with the 5th year option. The guys in the 1st round are supposed to develop a lot faster, be ready to plug and play. Guys in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, those guys take a little bit longer time. If you don't wait on them, if you move on from them, you don't know what you got. And the Titans did the same thing with Will Levis. He never had an offensive line. They traded Travis Henry. They got rid of why do I always forget his name? Long-haired dread dudes that went to Kansas City. I don't know why I can never remember his name. But yeah, they got rid of all the weapons, and then they draft a quarterback. They didn't have an offensive line. They didn't have weapons around him. They traded him. D-Hop. DeAndre Hopkins. So you get rid of D-Hop, which is a top 15 receiver in the NFL at that time, 2 years ago. You get rid of Travis Henry, and you want Will Levis to be Jaden Daniels? That shit's not gonna happen. You gotta let guys have a chance. So to me, the Titans is a horrible spot for Cam Ward to go to, and Cam Ward is a horrible pick for the Titans. You need to let your quarterback develop. You made your bed, lie in that shit, right? That's your mistake, whoever's it was. If it wasn't you that drafted him as the head coach or the GM, you came in knowing that was the guy, and you were going to have to deal with it and eat it for at least a year, or make a stupid decision like the Tennessee Titans are about to do, in my opinion. I could see Cam Ward being a bust. I really, really do. Especially in the 1st year, bro. 3rd year, 2nd year, 3rd year. If they do not build around this man very, very fast, give him weapons, give him an offensive line and a running game with his gunslinger, I can do everything mentality, this is going to be the worst pick they've made in a long time. And it might be worse than Will Levis, for the simple fact that they already had a Will Levis, and you decide to do it again with Cam Ward. You had Abdul Carter, Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, Campbell, Mimbu. It makes no sense to me to take Cam Ward. He is barely on my board 20. He easily dropped to the 20th best player. I don't care because he plays quarterback and he's a quarterback and people need quarterbacks. That doesn't move you up the board, in my opinion. Not that far. Not that far. Talent wise, athletic wise, I don't even have him at 20. The only reason he's at 20 is because he's a quarterback and damn, somebody's going to take one in the first round. I had to throw him in there. I don't have him higher than that. To take a guy that there's 20 guys more athletic, more valuable at every position is crazy to me to take at one. It's wild as hell. Wild as hell. So I believe they're going to make a crazy ass move. And they, you know, their GM and their head coach is going to be fired within the first 2-3 years. If Cam Ward works and they build around him fast, which, I mean, I don't see happening, but I've been wrong. I'm not right all the time. If it happens, then they're going to look like geniuses. But I just don't see Cam Ward picked number 1 to the Tennessee Titans, making anybody in that franchise look like a genius. I don't. I don't at all. Yeah, that's why Vrabel left. He's like, bro, you're gonna trade away all my valuable players on offense. That's gonna give, you know, whoever a chance. He was like, I'm out. I'm out. I got no chance to win here. No one is saying this could be the greatest quarterback draft class they did about 2021. Well, I agree. I get you there. Nobody's talking about this even being close to the best draft class. And there was talks about that being a damn good draft class. I don't know about the best. But my memory's not great. Obviously, yours is better than mine. So, yeah, there probably wasn't talks of this anytime ever being a good draft class, let alone great. But it still reminds me of the, you know, the prospects in it and the quality of talent and the damn scouts scouting these dudes that think they are what they are not is just wild to me. D-Hop went to the Chiefs mid-season last year. Yeah, which was crazy as hell. I would have ran with Levis for one more year, but they feel Ward is Air McNair. That's a hell of a comp. I mean, body-wise, side-wise, size-wise, mobility-wise, Steve McNair is a hell of a comp. I don't know if he has a strong arm as Steve McNair. That dude could throw it out of the building like Jalen Milroe, which I guess he kind of can too. But that's a hell of a comp, Steve McNair. I don't know if he's gonna be Steve McNair. I don't remember Steve McNair throwing sidearm like he does. I see his mechanics and his release, and if they try to change it, that could be even worse for that kid. So I don't know. Damn good comp though. Houston Oiler back in the day. If he could live up to Steve McNair, he's worth taking at number 1, I guess. But that's some big ass shoes to fill. That's some Shaquille O'Neal type shoes to fill. that's Shaquille O'Neal type shit right there. Raiders, Furpo in the building. What's good, my guy? Appreciate you being a member. I'll be listening off the bed. Just win, baby. Raiders. No, it's not the end of the show yet. I was just saying peace out, Ferps. Yes, love the pictures. Love the pictures. Finally, somebody posted them and used them. The other comp they throw out is Mahomes. That's not even funny. That's a bad joke. That's a bad joke. He could never ever be Mahomes. No matter how good they think he is or how good they think he's gonna be. I just don't see him being Mahomes. Nah, bro, he don't know the game like that. He don't see the game like Mahomes does. Mahomes had a year to sit under Andy Reid. That says a lot. Like that says speaks huge volumes to me. So yeah, that's a wild ass comp. Robert Pena in the building. What's good? What's good? Appreciate you. Mahomes in his photographic memory, right? I dread to be competing in football, man. IQ, right? I mean, the dude is a genius, and I see Aiden O'Connell having that. You know, I talked about this yesterday. John Gruden. If you go watch him with Will Howard, with Tyler Shuck, with one of my favorite quarterbacks in this draft, I believe is the fourth best quarterback, Riley Leonard, just because he reminds me of Josh Allen with his athleticism, his determination. Gets better every game, in my opinion. The games just seem to get better and better. But the recollection is what makes a quarterback. If you could put quarterbacks through the ringer on every single, every practice, every meeting, film review and shit, like John Gruden does those guys, like he did Derek Carr, giving them, all right, this is one play, but you got 4 plays to run out of this one play. If you see this, you're running this. If you see this, you're running this. If the safety does this, you're running this play. But you can also change this play to drag this guy over here, put this guy in motion. Like, dude, you have to be Albert Einstein to run an offense for John Gruden. And I feel Aiden O'Connell, the way he has played with the short amount of experience, the 4 different offensive coordinators, 2 different head coaches, for him to know the playbook as good as he did coming in. Yes, he got sacked 7 times against the Chargers, but he also came back in that game and almost won. If it wasn't for a pick at the end, I do believe. Probably not a good scenario. But that's what makes a great quarterback. That's what made Tom Brady. That's what made Tom Brady the greatest quarterback in college football, was his ability to process knowledge like a computer. The dude had a chip in his head. He could remember anything from everything. If he ever played against you, he was like, last time I ran this play, this dude did this. Last time I ran this play, this dude did this. If you don't believe me, go watch Gronkowski's interview. That's all he talks about, is how Tom Brady, what made him great was his ability to remember everything about every player he's ever met, played against, faced, coaches he's went against. That makes dudes special. You don't always have to be the fastest, have the strongest arm. If you can have decisive play at the line of scrimmage, if you know where you're going with the ball by pre-snap reads, you can excel and succeed in the NFL. If you can't do that shit, like a lot of these quarterbacks can't, that are coming out, that people think should go number 1, number 6, number 9. If you can't do that shit at a high-paced, rapid level every single day and still remember the shit from months ago or years ago, it's going to be hard to make it in the NFL. Like, that's just, no matter how athletic you are. Look at all the athletic guys who have never done shit or won Super Bowls. There's a long list of the most athletic quarterbacks that everybody said this is the new day and age. These guys is where it's going to be, where you have to have on your team to win a Super Bowl. Clearly, that's becoming the case. But it's just not. You can't just get away on athleticism alone, is what I'm getting at. You have to have the work ethic. You have to have the knowledge. You have to put in the work, and a lot of these guys don't. Or if they do, they don't get the opportunity. Like Sam Darnold. I mean, bad system, shitty opportunity. Went to Minnesota, killed it. I really want to see what the dude does in Seattle, because if he has another damn good year, then we know it wasn't Sam Darnold, right? Or maybe he's just a late ass bloomer, and it took him 4 years to adapt to the NFL. 5 years, 6 years. It took Geno what? 6 years, 8 years, 6 years on one team, 2 years behind a Super Bowl winning quarterback before it finally clicked and he got the job and ran with it. Some guys are late bloomers, so taking Will Levis, or taking a quarterback when you have Will Levis after a year and a half, 2 years, it just makes no sense to me. That's why franchises fail. That was a high second round pick that you could have used on defense, on offensive line, on running backs, and instead you took a quarterback that you weren't gonna believe in or give a chance or have faith in. It ruins franchises. Absolutely ruins franchises. Lucky, I can't even say that name. Another IQ guy made his teammates and opponents seem like children. Shame he's not a coach. Yeah, and LeBron is one of those guys. You want to switch to basketball. I see AR, right? AR 15. My Arkansas boy killing it over there. Another one of those dudes that just is smart. He knows what guys are going to do. He can beat you with his mind. That's dangerous. Guys like LeBron, like Tom Brady, like Michael Jordan, like Max Crosby. I'm not gonna leave Max Crosby out of there. Max Crosby gets, underrated in this scenario too. Take the Broncos game, for instance. Bo Nix was trying to call a play. He called the play called 3 different plays. Max Crosby's over there yelling at him the fucking play. Bo, they can't hear you. Speak up. Fucking calling the play for him. The play is this, telling guys where to go. Because he studies film. He's that involved in wanting to be the best. And when you know what the other guys are doing before they even do it, yeah, you make people look like children, and it makes the game so easier. And that's what people talk about when they talk about speeding up the game. When you learn the game, it speeds up. Right now, it seems like it's just flying by, speeding up. You don't know shit, but once it comes to you, then everything slows down. You get to normal pace, and pretty soon it seems like it's in slow motion. Where guys are breaking before they even break. You're throwing the ball. You're crossing over, going behind the back, because just by leaning this way, that guy's gonna lean, and you can already go the other way. Intelligence is a big part of every sport, which is why a lot of guys fail. A lot of guys think they can get away with just their athleticism. You could squeeze through college, get a scholarship, squeeze through school, a year or two, get drafted to the NFL, not know how to read or do math. I'm just saying, there's guys that get away with that shit on just pure athleticism or strength or speed or size, or making 1 or 2 plays against a big school 1 year, having a one breakout MVP game or player of the week, and shit, you could get a scholar, or you get drafted from that shit. It's wild. So the game has changed a lot. But yeah, guys like Mahomes is why he's the greatest. and you got, one of the greatest teaching you. But damn, when you're like a damn computer chip in your brain, knowledge is key. Knowledge is key. Max had moment of the year with that, right? That shit was funny as hell. Like it was great. And we've seen LeBron do it. We've seen LeBron do it a bunch of times. I've seen LeBron do it many games with the Lakers, with the Heat. Guys are looking like this, and he's going, you're supposed to be over there. You're supposed to cross over here, telling them what play they're supposed to run. He's like, bro, you just messed that whole play up. You were supposed to cut this way. Like, that shit's nasty. And I'd be embarrassed as hell. I'd probably quit if I had somebody telling me the play I was supposed to run. But yeah, that's crazy. And yeah, that was a highlight moment. Definitely for Max last year. He didn't have many with the injury, but that was definitely one. How do you even say that? Kuchle did that every play with the Panthers. People call him the smartest player in the NFL. We've sucked since he left. Like it's if you can outsmart people, you don't have to have, again, be the strongest, the fastest, the most athleticism. We've seen it over and over again in wrestling, in boxing, in MMA. Sometimes them goofy ass dudes with pocket protectors start shit with them, they'll whoop your ass. I've seen, some of those guys you want label as whatever, computer geniuses, I'll call them there, geeks, whatever. I've seen dudes get picked on and people didn't know they know karate or kung fu or MMA and get your ass whooped real quick, like, or you just get outsmarted in a fight. But guys like Larry Bird are great too, right? Another guy like Larry Bird, no athleticism. Like the dude moved like Aiden O'Connell. He like wasn't fast, but you couldn't stop him. You couldn't get by him, like, even on defense. You wasn't crossing over or faking him out, or the dude could play defense. He could play offense. Even as slow as he was going to be somehow down the court with everybody else. Yeah, Larry Bird was freaky, bro. I miss those Larry Bird and... the hell is on me? I miss those Larry Bird and Michael Jordan commercials, the McDonald's, like, off the backboard, off the wall, off the glass, all that shit where they got carried away with those commercials, but they were sick. I miss those shit. They should do some more shit like that with some of these stars. Would be funny as hell. But guys like Larry Bird are great. I can tell you what I'm doing, what I'm gonna do, but I'm so good that you can't stop it from happening, right? You can tell them, they can know, and you can't do shit about it. Can't do nothing. And nasty too, right? Larry Bird, it seemed like, to me, when he was dribbling or, crossing people over or whatever he was doing, it seemed like it was the slowest motion, but it was so damn smooth. And being as slow as he was, when he got a step by you, like, you wasn't catching him. You wasn't blocking him from behind. He had eyes in the back of his head, shit. Like, and could shoot from anywhere on the court. I've never seen anybody that could just turn his head and just throw the ball up. Like, that's just actually, I take that back. I had a coach in high school. Actually junior high, like 8th grade, 9th grade. I think the first time I ever played basketball professional, or not professionally, but for a school, that wasn't in the streets in the hood. I was like, all right. They kept asking me, hey, you want to play basketball? We need kids to fill out the roster and shit. We got to have guys. So I was like, yeah, I'll try out. Made the team. some reason they put me at center. I'm 5'10" now. I don't know why. In 8th and 9th grade, you thought I could be a center. Maybe just because my toughness. I don't know, but that was the dumbest ass position. But anyways, the coach was named Mr. Green. And I believe up to like only 2 or 3 years ago, he was still coaching at like 90 something years old or 80 years old. But the dude played college basketball, and I think he played pros for somebody. I can't remember the team, but Coach Green could shoot the ball from anywhere on the court in practice. I don't know how many laps I had to run or how much stupid shit I had to do trying to battle this dude and everybody on the team. Like, it wasn't even fair. He made us look so bad. And the dude was like 6'6", 6'7", played point guard, like kind of like was like a Larry Bird type dude, could play point guard, could shoot, could block, could play defense, and was the same shit, was slow as hell. But damn, that was the greatest coach I had, man. That dude he never missed a shot. I mean, literally, he would not miss a shot. You could tell him we play horse and he'd go anywhere on the court, make every single one. Every single one. No rim, no backboard. I don't know if he just stayed in the gym, like literally lived in the gym. When school was out, he just sat there and shot until it was time to go to sleep, and then he wake up and shoot until everybody got there. His whole life. I don't know how anybody could do that. Like it was freakish. I swear the dude was a robot, and so I think half the school was like, it's not even funny. The dude should do some kind of contest or some shit. But I swear on everything, that dude, I never seen him miss a shot ever. And it definitely had nothing to do with athleticism. So yeah, like dudes like that are crazy, bro. I think my favorite was him and Tim Duncan. Mind games didn't work on him. Dude was cold. Tim Duncan was too. Like, just a slow, methodical, patient player that, you weren't beating him on head fakes. He wasn't falling for no crossovers. He was a big ass dude with damn good footwork and was smart as hell. That's, why do you think Derek Robinson, I believe, was like, hey, draft this kid now, before it was even close for him to retire, right? Didn't they draft Tim Duncan like 3 years before David Robinson was ready to go? So, you get me on my basketball knowledge and shit, I can talk all day, but 3 hours on this live. I appreciate y'all pulling up. I gotta break down these one stats real quick. I want to show y'all something. Oh, I said I was gonna do a mock draft every day. Fuck it, I gotta do this mock draft. I gotta be a man of my word. I gotta do what I'm gonna say. This is gonna be a new mock draft. Wait, is it? Hold up. No, this ain't it. All right. Yeah, it is PFF. All right, so 7-round PFF. Yeah, I paid for the damn shit. Enter. Why can't I enter? 7 rounds. Turbo fast. Las Vegas Raiders. Come on, man. It's late. There we go. Finally. Jeez Louise. Wheezes. Is this the NFL mock draft? Alright. I need this pulled up. This scene. Yeah, I'm talking to myself. I do it all the time. I gotta move this. Come on, man. Work with me. All right, which one is the PFF one? Yep. All right, what can y'all see? I gotta do some adjusting. Give me a second. I don't know where I could be on this. I don't know where I could be on this. Or what the hell y'all can see. Come on, catch up, damn phone. Ketchup, not mustard. Alright, that looks better. But you can't see the names. Alright, give me 1 minute. Second. One more second. Uno momento, please. Uno momento. Alright, so this needs to go this way somewhere. And stretch. Stretch? Still not enough. Fuck. Holy Batman. Toledo. What I gotta do to see names? Alright. Is that enough? Still no? That's as far as it'll let me go. Shit. Alright, I'm already not liking the PFF one. And I need to close this. I think that should be enough. Alright, let's rock with that. Hopefully y'all can see it enough that we could rock this mock draft real quick, real fast, and in a hurry. On the clock. I don't need none of this shit. Let's start. I wouldn't mind the Raiders trading down spots to get Jahad Campbell. I am all in for that. 100,000%. I've been on team trade back. I love Jackson Dart. I wouldn't take him at 6. There's no way. Again, I wouldn't take no quarterback at 6 in this draft. We have Travis Hunter. Why did I pull up this? Hold up. Don't go back because you're going to end this. All right, so this sucks ass. I like the other one way better. It tells me where people were picked. How do I see picks? Picks. Fuck it. Oh, here we go. Cam Ward, number 1. Shador Sanders, number 2. Abdul Carter, number 3. Ashton Genty went number 4. Damn. Number 4 to the Patriots. Will Campbell, number 5. The Raiders are on the clock. And we have Travis Hunter. Mason Graham. Jade. Walter Nolan. Malik Starks. Jahad to the Campbell. 10 people in the building. Shout out y'all watching. If Hunter falls to you, you take him. I wouldn't mind Raiders trading down. I doubt Pats would do that though. I kind of doubt so too. So I don't want to really take Travis Hunter because I don't think he's going to be there. And really, in my opinion, if you watch the beginning of the show, I have Travis Hunter as my 4th. As my 3rd. Where do I have him? 3rd or 4th. 3rd or 4th best corner in this draft. Only because he plays both sides of the ball. And you got to focus on one to be the best. I think those guys in front of him, Jahad, Siobhan, Trey Amos, I think those guys are going to have better production in their first year. And better upside if they're just going to play one position, in my opinion. So, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Jahad. That's a big swing there. Let's see what they give us. I'm taking Jade again, and again. But I'm gonna keep taking him until they give me trade backs. Nobody wants to trade back. It's either him or Campbell. That's all I can see, bro. That's all I can see. We're gonna be a little bit smarter here. No more Marion Lott, Kevin Winston. I could have got Trey Amos. All right, I got to say this. This is my thing with the PFF mock draft. I have cracked the code, bro. I have cracked the code with PFF mock draft. If you want Ashton Genty and you take him at 6, you're gonna have Travion, Omarion Hampton, all these dudes there in the 3rd round somehow. If you don't take him, he falls all the way to like 12, 10, 12. I've seen as far as 14. And then all those dudes are gone in the 2nd round, which makes no sense. Same with corner. Every time I take Jade, all the corners all the corners are off the board, are still there in the 2nd. But if I don't take him, they're all gone in the 1st round. There's nobody there in the 2nd round. So that's what pisses me off about this draft. It really pisses me off. Josh Connerly Jr. is there in the building. I don't know what that noise was. I didn't see anything pop up. I kind of like the Oregon tackle. We really need a tackle. I really like A.O. Manor also. My guy, Jaden Higgins. I like all these dudes. But since we took a corner there, we really need to go running back. I believe they're going to be there in the 3rd, the way this draft's going. How far down are they? So we have... Damn. Where are they? Travion Henderson, 59. And Judkins, 66. There's a big chance we do not get those guys in the 2nd round. Over Mason. What the fuck just happened? Over Mason Graham? What do you mean, in round 1? Yes. Jade Barron over Mason Graham all day long, dude. 100%. We do not need a tackle as bad as we need a shutdown corner or a slot corner, nickel corner, whatever you want to put him. He's going to be that dude. He's going to be that dude that's probably the best defensive back on this team as a rookie instantly, in my opinion, in Jade. So if you need a corner, your running back's gone. That's the biggest position of need besides linebacker, is corner and linebacker. If you don't take Jihad or Jalen Walker or Jade there at 6 and you can't trade back, they're going to be gone in the 1st round. So what do? You reach and take best player available? I don't feel that's going to be the way. So this is the way I went. But again, I really don't see him taking Jade at 6. I don't see that as being a possibility. Not with the guys in this building. But if they do, I'm going to be fucking ecstatic, bro. I'm going to be ecstatic. So we got Omar, Marion Lott. Sorry, I didn't mean to go so fast. And now the chat's in the way. Damn it. Sun Beach. Kevin Winston Jr. at safety. Trey Amos, the corner that I would have loved to pick at this spot. But I guarantee you, we'll do one tomorrow, and we won't pick a corner, and he won't be here at this spot. Watch. Mark my words. Josh Connerly is, I believe, the only tackle that they're showing right here. So I'm going to go to offensive line, see what we got. Who else is on here? Donovan Jackson. Ooh, my guy Ezri is there in the 2nd, ranked 68th. How do you pass on that? What y'all think? We take offensive line now? We shirt up the defense? We go offense, defense, offense, defense? Or we go offensive line, grab our running back, or we grab our running back now, linebacker now? We go O-line later? What y'all want to do? What y'all want to do? Somebody give me something. Barron is a hell of a corner. He's going to be the best rated corner out of this draft class this year, next year, and maybe all the years. I mean, there's some guys that have a lot of potential and a lot of upside, but I could see that dude easy. Ezri is late second, early third talent. You think he'll be there in the third at 30 at 68? Because if you think he'll be there at 68, I would love to take him there over this spot. But I have a bigger feeling that Judkins or Travion Henderson could possibly be there at 68 more than Donovan Jackson, Ezri, Connerly. I think all those guys go. In my opinion. If you want to trade back with a second in Seattle. Alright, let's trade back, see what we could get. Trade. I've never done this yet. I've always accepted trades, but I haven't proposed one. Oh, here we go. So, where are we at? Seattle or Atlanta? Atlanta picks 46. Seattle picks... Fuck is Seattle? Oh, Seattle picks 50. All right, let's see what we could get. Let's go back to 50. Oh, here we go. That's the picks. All right. So we want 18. It's not gonna let me swap first. How many seconds? Oh, we already picked. Fucking idiot. 50. How far are we moving back? 13 spots. Let's go 50 and 82 for 37. 72% chance of being accepted. Should we go lower and see? Let's take out this and add that. Wait, it just happened. Damn it. I have no idea what I picked now because it's not showing up on my screen. Alright, so we want this. Fuck, I don't know if we're picked or not. This is bullshit. Okay, let's take that off. Trade will not be accepted. For who? Shit. I'm going to have to start this over. Because I can't tell if it's being accepted or not. Some bullshit. Why isn't it saying what picks I'm selecting? Damn it. Alright, I'm not trading back. This is too damn difficult. It's gonna take forever. I'm not smart enough. No, but for real, when I click on it, do you see any difference? Trade will likely be accepted, not likely be accepted. But that's all it tells me, so I don't know. Don't know. How the flip do I end this? Alright, draft player. Okay, let's try this again. Trade player. Pick player. I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get it right. This time I'm not hitting so many buttons. Let's go Seattle. This time I know what I'm doing. We want to move back to 50. You want to give 50 for 68 and 180? See if they'll do that. I mean, that's a fucking 16 pick difference. Or 18 pick difference. I just don't want to hit too many buttons. This forced trade shit, I don't know. Trade acceptance on both teams and picks. So we will give up, say, 68 for trade will not be accepted. Trade will not be accepted. Damn, these bitches are tight. They ain't giving up nothing. Alright, select player. This is going to take fucking all night long. I am going to go best player available. No, I can't go that either. I wouldn't be mad taking Oregon's Josh Connerly, another guy that was hurt. Fuck it, let's take receiver. Let's take receiver. We got our X receiver. That's probably going to be a B or C grade. Some people have him in the 3rd round. Some people have him in the 4th. I had him in the 2nd. I wouldn't be mind taking him in the 1st. Demetrius Knight, our linebacker, South Carolina. I would take him now. Kevin Winston is going to be a horrible grade with the offensive, or with the picks we got from Stokes and Chin, I believe. Traded 3rd round pick as well, 52. Yeah, I apologize, man. I can't. I tried 37, 68 for 50, and their 3rd, they didn't want that. And then I think I tried for their 50, I tried our 68. So I tried our 3rd, our 5th, and a 6th. And they said no. To get back, where are we at? We're 2nd. Pretty shitty. Jalen Royals, 3rd round. My guy is there. And there are no running backs in the board. Damn, I told y'all. I knew it. I've done too many of these mocks. We are not getting a running back. Travion Henderson went 62. Fuck, we should have traded. Judkins went 51. Judkins went above Travion? Whoa. That's crazy. That's wild. I ain't reaching on Dylan Sampson in the 3rd here, though. That's out of my league. We took a receiver. I'm going to go Demetrius Knight, linebacker. We got to get a linebacker that could cover. Royals is a slot guy. I like him, but not the type of receiver Raiders need. I don't know. I know Jacoby doesn't have the speed, but we can put him on the outside, put him in the slot. And Jalen Royals, I believe, has the speed to play out there. more than anything, when you think about Brock Bowers being in the middle or in the slot or at tight end, Jacoby being the number 2, I think it could work. I really like Kyle Williams. That's why I keep saying 4th round talent. Savion Jones. I thought that was Savion. I thought that was Savion Williams. I guess he's gone already. But I really like him too. Very, very underrated receiver in this draft. All right, who'd I pick? I picked Jihad. Alec. All right, so we got our receiver. We got our linebacker. I need to somehow get somebody that can run the ball or block for somebody that can run the ball. Jaden Blue here in the 4th. Damn, that gives us a running back, but not what we need really. Go back to all, make sure I'm on all. I really like Olafemi here. It gives us another defensive player just in case something happens to Malcolm Kuntz. Or Malcolm Kuntz, doesn't have the year he had 2 years ago and is not that guy. You have a guy right behind him, but then it takes reps away from my guy Tyree that I believe needs reps. Oladejo is good, but wide receiver is a bigger need. We got Stanford, Alec Manor in the 2nd. So right now, it's either running back, O-line, or take a backup quarterback. Take a backup quarterback. Yeah. That looks like shit on the screen. I should have moved it over more. I don't know where to go here. I kind of want to go defensive end, but we need a running back. All right, let's see what running backs are on the board and where they fit. Because we're at pick 108. And his Jaden Blue is kind of perfect right here. Trevor Iantine, Jaquez Hunter, Brashard Smith, Kyle Managa. I mean, not too bad. Brashell Tootin, we can get in the next round. Taja Brooks. It's not going to be a flashy running back class, but I can wait on those. What else is next position of need? No, I took the Canadian receiver. Next round running back. All right, let's check out O-line. Let's see how big of a reach O-line is at this position. What do we got in tackle? We got Jalen Rivers. Catch-up phone. We got Jalen Rivers. We got Mr. Crenshaw Dixon out of Florida. Logan Brown. Chase Luddit. Not really anybody. They clean house on the linemen. Good heavens. We need a guard, though. Let me see if there's a guard in the building. Can we get an interior lineman? I like Seth McCollum, but not at 108. Willie Lampkin is a dog, but he is way underrated. I'm not taking him there. Connor Colby, Iowa. Tyler Cooper. Bro, there is no offensive lineman in here to take. This is going to be a rough. Tootin will be top tier. Punt returner. Yeah, definitely. And he's going to contribute in the run game, I feel. But can we take him in the 5th? I mean, oh, we're in the fourth. All right, can we take him in the fourth? I think we can. I'd like to have better. Kind of want to go all best available right here, which is definitely Olafemi or another receiver. You can never have too many receivers. Kyle Williams is definitely an X receiver. Let me see if I can move this over some more. Do something with this chat. My bad, y'all. I don't need it up because I can't see it right now. See if this helps y'all. See if this helps y'all. See the names any better. All right, so position of need is Olafemi Ozodeju. The man can play linebacker. He can play edge. It's probably not the pick I wanted right here, but man, I'm gonna have to take it. I don't see any position of value unless we take a receiver right there. Kyle Williams is still on the board. I don't know how he fell that far. RJ Mickens is a safety out of Clemson. I wouldn't be mad with that. I think I'm going Eantine here out of Georgia. He's the best pass blocker, the best ball protector, and the most explosive guy with the ball in his hands right now. And since I slipped up and I did not get a running back, and Tootin was gone, right? I like Ty Felton. Damn it. Fuck, I think Tootin was gone, right? Because he was after him, I believe. Yeah, he was gone. Damn, Jordan James was on there. I could have got him 247. Fuck, I should have picked him in the 6th. I might take him anyways in the 6th. Alright, so best available is RJ Mickens at safety. I believe we're pretty solid there. I wouldn't mind having a defensive end. Jordan Hancock, I'm not taking till the bottom rounds. Ty Felton with his 4.3 speed is scary good. I don't know about 180 good. That's what we're picking, right? What are we picking? Yeah, 180. I kind of liked Longbeam at the combine. He impressed the shit out of me. Let's see what they got on him. Run defensive grade 58. Ouch. Coverage grade 73. Man coverage grade 73. Completion against 56.4. That's damn good. Damn good. Man coverage grade. Alright, so he's a guy we could use at nickel. We just can't put him in a run. I'm not mad at that. What else we got? See if we got any linemen close. I really would love to have an offensive lineman here. God, we need offensive line. We took a corner right off the bat. I wonder if Longbeam, can he run punt returns? He was fast as hell, right? Yeah, let's go Ty Robinson out of Nebraska. That gives us a run stopper in the middle. Good call. Good call. I wanted to take best available, but I wanted to make sure. It'd probably be better if I put this fucking thing over here instead of always looking over there. Good job, Jimbo. Jeez Louise. All right, so we're at pick 213. We have on the Bizord RJ Mickens. £468 Cameron Jackson. That would be nasty right there. Tyler Shuck, Jordan Hancock, Craig Woodson, Katana Mumfield. I think that's another really underrated receiver, Katana Mumfield. He had some drop problems, but he has damn good separation and like Andrew Armstrong here too. 213. You really think we need a safety though, right now? I mean, I know it's 6th round, but we have Isaiah Palomau, we have Trey Taylor, we have Jeremy Chin, we have Chris Smith, the second out of Georgia. I think we have a strong safety room where there's going to be some guys that get cut or picked up from our practice squad. I feel it's that good. But really, best player available, the drop off from 108 to 131. It's a big ass difference. Big ass difference. Who they got at quarterback? Damn, my boy Riley Leonard's gone. That sucks. Alright, can we get a sleeper offensive lineman here somewhere? We're in the 6th. Let's try. See if we can steal one of these cats. Jalen Travis out of Iowa. Holland Pierce, 6'8", 247 pound. Freak of nature. Right there. That's a tree trunk. Xavier Truss out of Georgia. 193 is not bad value. We did not get an offensive lineman. I'm going to check interior O-line. I appreciate y'all rocking with me this long. Another 3.5 hours show. We are breaking records in this bitch. Name me a content creator. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck with it. Inside is Jake Majors. I'll take him in the next round. I think we have back-to-back picks, 213 and 215. So let's go tackle here. See how much of a reach it is. We got to get some O-line help just in case with the Colt Miller shit going on. I like Jalen Travis. I also like Colin Pierce, but I really want to see what they got on this fool. Pass blocking grade 85, gap grade 54, zone grade 64, run blocking grade 58, true pass set pass blocking grade 82. Had 850 snaps on offense. Played 12 games this year. Had a better grade last year. Played 6 games. Kind of went. Allowed 1 sack, 2 hits, 8 hurries. Allowed 1 sack, 1 hit, 1 hurry last year. Against top rated schools. Texas Tech, he had a 60. Kansas, he had a 76 grade. I mean, it's the 5th round. Beggars cannot be choosers. And Holland Pierce plays right tackle. Oh, shit. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of O-lines This is gonna be a shitty grade here, probably. I'm taking him at 213, but damn, that's the best rated tackle besides the left tackle, and I can't take the left tackle there. Best grade is still Higgins. Man, I can't keep getting shit grades. I gotta take Mickens. Tyler Shuck, quarterback here. Hancock, D-line, D-line, D-line. It's going to be a reach on offense again if we take offense. A big reach. Actually, we're picking 222, and Jake Majors is on the board 222. Let's see what they give us. I know he's a center. But at 6'4", 320, I mean, damn, hopefully he's a guy we can plug in and maybe get some playtime like we got out of Meredith, right? So we got make sure y'all can see before I start blowing it up. No, you can't. Of course. Fuck my life, bro. Why does everything gotta be so damn difficult? Get off this bitch and go smoke a fucking cigarette. Alright, can you see it now? Please tell me you can. Please tell me you can. Please tell me you can. Oh, there's the grade. There's the grade. Alrighty, righty. So we have the grade. That's all y'all can see? That's shit. Alright, so this is our mock draft for the late night zombie crew. Jod Day to the Baron. We took number 7. Oh, wait. Oh, on the big board he was number 7. Okay. I didn't know he was number 7 on anybody's big board, but we had taken him, and there goes my picture in the way also. Fuck. Come on, man. Get this shit together. Get it together. Get it together. Let's put it here. Let's try this. Fucking A. Appreciate the 12 person in the building. Alright, so if my mock drafts get any damn better, somebody gonna have to hire me, bro. Can I be a scout? Shit. And Slamming Sammy, because, you know, he was a big part of this. He was a big part of this. Jade Barron, number 7 overall. We got an A. Alec A.O. Manor. Definitely our ex-receiver. 4.3 speed, crazy size. Everything you can want in a receiver. Some people say he could possibly go in the first, just depending on teams' needs, where they value him. They had him at 34. We took him at 37. We get an A. Demetrius Knight. I told you Holland Pierce was going to be rough. Ouch. Demetrius Knight. Linebacker, South Carolina. We get a guy that can cover. Guy that can rush the passer. 3rd round, A-. Olafemi Oladeju. Linebacker, edge. Hybrid Leo type cat. We get an A, taking him in the 4th round. Trevor Eatine. We finally get our running back. We take him in the 5th out of Georgia. An A. Ty Robinson. Shout out to my guy, Slammy. LOL, you still here? Appreciate you rocking with me. Ty Robinson, A+. Very good value at the 6', 180. Holland Pierce, 6'8", 247. They gave us a D. This is my first D grade all year. I'm not very happy. I'm not very happy with it. I need to do better. I need to do better for the nation. I need to do better for myself. I'm just fucking. I need to do better. I need to do better. Fuck that D+, dude. Y'all could eat a bag of dicks. PFF grades. RJ Mickens, safety, A+. We could have got an A+ earlier. moved Holland Pierce down to the last pick and maybe got a C out of it. My bad. I should have probably moved it around. Whoa, what? Have to take my wife for the surgery at 6 p.m. Figured, fuck it, I'll stay up. Wait, what? Your wife's having surgery? I didn't hear about that. Everything good? No stressful shit you gotta worry about, or like everything's cool and shit? Just a routine thing, or what? I mean, if you don't want to say shit, you can text me or whatever, or I'll hit you up tomorrow or something to find out. But damn, man, prayers to the family if needed. I hope everything goes well. Oh shit. So okay, yeah. Well, still prayers for the family anyways. You know, surgeries are never fun. Tell your wife get well soon. I tore my knee up 3 times in junior high and high school, which is why I'm not playing football now. Well, not now, but why I never got to play football. Probably a big ass reason. Not being flexible sucks trying to play football. You get hurt constantly. Constantly. So yeah, this is our draft, man. We got an A overall grade. I don't like the D. It really pisses me off. But it's just a draft. Just a draft. Let me close this shit out. Get back to the chat. Back to my peeps. Streamlabs. Live scene. Damn. Alright, so almost a fucking 4-hour live. I gotta stop this. Holy jeez Louise. Man, my peeps in the building. I know PFF, those majors will be moved to guard. Maybe they give him the pick as an A. I don't know. I think Majors was a guard, wasn't he? Did he play guard? I think I think he was a center. I mean, yeah, center. So yeah, moving him to guard could be an A+. Maybe that's why they gave us an A+, because we already have Jackson Powers Johnson. Good point. He had 2 ACL replacements. Damn, that's nasty. That's nasty. Long time recovering. Like an idiot, I tried to push mine because my first was in 9th grade. And I was the star running back. It happened 3 weeks into the season. And I thought I was Superman. And I could play. When all the doctors told me I couldn't play. Just because I could run again. And I was like, I'm healed. And I went against everything everybody said. Lied to the coach. Played. Didn't fucking work out. It didn't work out. And one of the biggest, stupidest, dumbest mistakes I ever made in my life. Piled with many. With many. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all being supporters of this channel, rocking with me this long. Shout out to every single one of y'all. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart, for sure. Raider family, baby. Raiders. Peace, much love. Tomorrow, did it at a house fire. Ooh, yeah, those make me cringe every time you say the house fire thing. Damn, that sucks. Were you out of the house at least? Fucking, I know I gotta get off here, but damn, Jeff dropping bombs. Tore your shit in the middle of a fire. Oh, at the firehouse. Well, hopefully it wasn't during training and you wasn't inside or no shit like that, because that would suck ass, bro. Holland Pierce is locked down now, but let's check on that in 3 years. Yeah, it might have not been the greatest pick, which I don't understand, because I thought he did pretty good at the combine. For as big as he is, his athletic traits were not that bad. So I don't know. Maybe they just ain't giving love. Maybe they feel it's not a position of need. I don't know. But I bet if you put him in like a, like a Dalton Wagner, he got that big size. And if you put him in like in a position where Dalton Wagner is, where he was on injury reserve for a year and didn't have to do shit but get in shape, and then last year, learn. I'm looking for Dalton Wagner to try to do something this year, man. I know the dude has dog mentality. I've seen him in the run game. I tried to get him on the channel since he's an Arkansas boy, but it didn't work out. Didn't get no reply. So, but yeah, I would love to see the dude actually do something. And, hopefully if we do draft a guy like that shit, within the next, 2-3 years, that he could become the lockdown right tackle. Because, damn, we need one. we need a lockdown at every position. It's been a long time since guys like Gabe Jackson, where that spot was his. There was no competition in camp. It didn't matter who we drafted. Like, that shit was his, right? So, man, we need to get back to that. But PFF is smoking the good, right? They always are. They need to share that shit. He'd be a terrible left tackle, but Raiders don't need him for that. And that's that's what Spy Take preaches too, is taking guys that were the tops at spot, at their spot in college and moving them over. So a good draft, another A. If the Raiders could just pull off one draft in my lifetime as good as mine, I would be ecstatic, bro. And we'd be in a damn good place, right? Slam and Sammy, appreciate subscribing, my guy. It took me a minute to realize. I heard the ding earlier, but I didn't realize to look up there. I didn't see no shit pop up, so gotta fix that. But again, man, I'm out. I could fucking ramble all night. I gotta